broken foot, and both their safeties are out. This is a very big assignment for the Browns defense.
This is a game both these teams are targeting one they should win. As you know, they're both struggling. On the plus side for the Browns, quarterback Bernie Kosar comes into the game as the NFL's second-rated passer at the moment. A lot relies on the right arm of Bernie.
You're absolutely right. No interceptions to this point in the season, and you will find today that there are receivers open for Bernie Kosar to hit. This San Diego defense takes a lot of chances, and for the Browns to succeed today, Bernie Kosar's got to have another one of his stellar performances.
And we get word that the Chargers are going to try to pressure Bernie, maybe blitz a lot on first down. The Cleveland Browns with an inordinate number of injuries, particularly in their defensive secondary. If there's a weak part, though, of the San Diego Chargers, Trump, it is their secondary. They've had trouble stopping the pass.
Yeah, there's no question that this season has not been a good season for the San Diego defense. The offense of San Diego should produce better than a 1-6 record, but the defense has played like a 1-6 team, and Dan Henning knows it. He's trying to straighten it out, but they've not been able to do it.
Dan Henning, in his third year as coach of the Chargers, following 2 6-10 seasons, this club has jumped off to a 1-6 record. But they average, as mentioned, 5 yards a rush. And there's Bill Belichick, the first-year head coach, youngest head coach in the NFL at age 39. Hit hard by injuries his first year, but he hasn't complained. He knows you play the cards dealt you. And right now, the Chargers, with John Carney ready to kick off, are set to open the game. The ball is hit downfield. They kick it away from Eric Metcalf, and coming back with the ball now is Joe Morris. And he takes the ball out across the 15-yard line, and penalty markers are down. Marion Butt was down to make the play. Here's referee Pat Haggerty making a signal against the Browns. Chargers have been troubled by an inordinate number of penalties, and that's cost them a lot.
Illegal push in the back. Number 43 on the return.
Joe King, just put on the roster by the Browns, called for an illegal block, and now you look at the offensive blockers for Bernie Kosar. Jones, Riensta, a former #1 draft choice of the Steelers, Mike Babb, Ed King, the #2 pick from Auburn, a rookie, and Dan Fike, a strong right tackle. But Trump, the Browns start out with the long field to go with Kosar at quarterback, Metcalf and Joe Morris as runners. The Browns' best back, Kevin Mack, sidelined with a hip problem. Slaughter and Brennan, the wideouts. Galbraith is the tight end.
Starting with 2 tight ends, Don.
And a lone setback now for the Cleveland Browns as Kosar looks on first down, swings it out to Joe Morris. He's across out to the 10-yard line for a gain on the play of about 4. So Bernie comes out with a somewhat daring play, throwing on first down from his end zone. Front 7 for the Chargers. Hinkle, Phillips, and Bert Grossman across the front. Good backers in Henry Rolling, leading tackler Gary Plummer, Junior Seau's having an all-pro season, and Leslie O'Neal, a prominent pass rusher for the San Diego Chargers for the past 7 years. At the corners, Gil Bird and Sam Seal. Bayless starts as strong safety and a rookie from Texas. #1 pick Richard is the starting safety with Bayless. Kosar on 2nd and 6 takes a look. Here comes the rush. There's the throw, and he makes the connection. As Webster Slaughter, who played here as a collegiate at San Diego Jack Murphy Stadium for the San Diego State Aztecs, makes the reception for a Cleveland first down.
One of the things you notice about the Charger defense is they're everywhere. People all over the place. Bernie Kosar, standing in his end zone, makes this pass. Slaughter, who's been complaining about a lack of business from Bernie Kosar of late, gets the first reception of the day, and it's for a first down.
So Kosar looking sharp as he has all season. Extra defensive backs in the game now as the Chargers are looking for an all-out pass offense. The Browns go to the run. And the ball is taken out to the 25-yard line by Joe Morris. Bert Grossman makes the knockdown along with inside backer Gary Plummer. Joe Morris, who was an integral part of the New York Giants' first Super Bowl championship team. And Slaughter Trump now at the pass caught in 40 straight games.
Celebrated his birthday yesterday. Had an awful lot of friends and family around the hotel yesterday, and an awful lot of them at the game today. A guy who certainly likes playing in Jack Murphy Stadium. That's where the San Diego Aztecs play their college football games.
Now Cleveland with a 2nd down and 7 on this opening drive. They go to the run, and breaking off is Joe Morris. He's out to the 30-yard line, and Joe Morris on 2nd and 7 gets ahead for a gain of about 5 yards. It'll be 3rd down and 2. Cornerback Gil Byrd was the tackler for San Diego.
Maybe one of the most amazing running backs in the history of the NFL. I mean, he didn't play last year at all, had an injury the year before. Joe Morris is not a big guy, but he really carried the load for the New York Giants a number of years ago, and it looks like, at least for this week, maybe more than 1 week, Joe Morris is going to have to carry the running back load for the Cleveland Browns with Mack out.
Now they go to an I set, do the Browns. Lee Roussan is in as the up back. He's a blocker, also played for the Giants. Kosar, timing throw, makes the connection to Lee Roussan. He's out to the 43-yard line. And listen to that contingent of Cleveland Brown fans here. Penalty markers down, though, at the line of scrimmage. Looks like it's coming back.
It's going against Cleveland.
Holding. Number 70. Offense.
John
Still third
Rienstra,
down.
the Browns left guard, called for a holding call.
I think you do see that happening against the San Diego offense. Left guard, Rienstra. Main reason is this San Diego defense jumps all over the place. Hinkle, 97, was the man he held, let's say tackled. So produces a 3rd and long for the Browns.
3rd and almost 12 as Kosar sets in the gun at his 15-yard line. 4-man rush. Kosar sidearms the ball. Eric Metcalf is on the run across the 25 and the 30, and he's very close to a 1st down. It all depends on the spot. He could be just short, Trump, where Henry rolling, an outside linebacker, knocks him out of bounds.
Chargers with 6 defensive backs, 4 guys up front, so there's just 1 linebacker. Watch 21. Well timed. The man out in front is Ed King, the blocker, and Eric Metcalf does an excellent job to get up there right close to the 1st down marker, but I'm going to measure. I think he comes up slightly short. That's one thing you notice about this offense of the Cleveland Browns this year, trying a lot of different ways to get Metcalf involved in the offensive game plan. It's short.
Kosar signals over to his coaches. It's inches. But early in the game, Belichick elects to play percentages and kick the ball. So the Browns look sharp throwing the ball, but are unable to convert a 2nd 1st down. And now dropping back to punt is Brian Hansen, kicking the ball well, as you see, 42.6 average. Kitrick Taylor is the deep man for the San Diego Chargers. Number 85, breakaway speed. The Browns and the Chargers met last season. San Diego prevailed over Cleveland 24-14. Anthony Miller of the Chargers caught 2 touchdown passes in that game. Good snap. Good kick. Ball hit very high as Kitrick Taylor awaits it at the 21. They set up a return right. And the Browns, with good special teams play, sweep under Kitrick Taylor after a return of just 3 yards. A 48-yard punt by Brian Hansen. So the Chargers in that super-powered running game are ready to come out in the field for the first time when we come back with no score up. Defense. Hand off to Bernstein, and the Browns have him played to a tee. No place to go. Rod Bernstein, who's averaging 4.9 a rush, is cut down for a loss of a yard. Offensive line, Swain, Eric Moten, who's from Cleveland, played at Michigan State, a guard. Courtney Hall, a rising star at center. David Richards and Thompson are the right side blockers. Quarterback is John Freeze, a 2nd-year player from Idaho. Off to a good start. Derek Walker and Bernstein, well, they switch between H-back and running back. Bernstein's the primary carrier. Anthony Miller, a dangerous deep threat. Nate Lewis with speed, and Arthur Cox, an enforcer at tight end, 270 pounds. He's a blocker. On 2nd down and just over 10, Freeze throws, and he makes the connection with Miller, but the Browns are right there to knock him out of bounds at the 27-yard line. Minifield and Harlan Barnett from. As we look at the front 7 of the Cleveland Browns, Pio, Zagapulatelli is at left end, easy for me to say. James Jones at left tackle, a rookie. The outstanding Michael Dean Perry, the right tackle, and Mike Wise, a pickup who was cut by the Los Angeles Raiders, where he started in recent seasons. Waiters, Richard Brown, and the veteran Clay Matthews are the backers for Cleveland. Minifield and Braggs at the corners, Barnett and Newsom are the safeties. It's third down. The Chargers need 5. Freeze, who threw for over 300 yards last week against the Rams, is a bit high as he tries to get Craig McEwen coming out of the backfield, and Richard Brown is well pleased. He too is a San Diego State Aztec as a collegian, or was.
And played for the Chargers, was an outstanding special teams player, lost on Plan B, and he will hit you. That's the one thing you know about Mr. Brown. He will hit you.
Brown defense early in this game, very much in sync and on target to stop San Diego, as John Kidd is now back, the former Buffalo Bills punter. They didn't protect him. San Diego signed him as a Plan B 2 years ago. Another good snap. And into the California sunshine. Kidd booms a punt. Eric Metcalf from his 21 looks for blockers and then finds his own way into an open gap as a marker goes down. For the Browns, 2 kick returns, 2 penalties.
This is not an offense that needs the long field to face on every single down, the Cleveland Browns offense. It is not an offense that tries to get deep in a hurry. So these penalties on the special teams just kill 2 things. 1, the plays you call, and 2, how long the offense is out there and how many yards it has to cover to get in the end zone.
Browns setting themselves back now with those penalties. They are the 23rd rated offense in the NFL, Cleveland.
Push in the back. Number 36 on the return. First down.
Even Braggs called for the illegal block. And now there's a timeout on the field with no score up, and the Cleveland. With Bob Trumpy, this is Don Criqui back at San Diego Jack Murphy Stadium. The Cleveland Browns with their second possession of the game now, set to go from their 10-yard line. Kosar using an array of formations with a lot of motion. Pitch back. Markers down as Joe Morris runs hard, but again it appeared the Browns might have been out of into motion a little early. Leroy Ford.
I think he broke out of his stance, illegal motion, so again a penalty sets the Cleveland Browns back even further.
Let's take a look now at the 10-minute ticker. Miami with a fumble at the goal line at the end of the game loses to the Houston Oilers 17-13. New Orleans.
Offense. Number 33. Still first down.
Ford was the guy guilty of illegal motion. New Orleans remains unbeaten. Seattle blowing out the Steelers, the team that comes into Cleveland next Sunday to play the Browns. The Jets even their record at 4-4 with a victory at Indianapolis. And New England with a big day today at Foxborough. First down and 15, and Kosar elects to go to the run, and he sends Joe Morris straight at the Charger defense.
Don, we documented at the outset that this is a Charger defense that has given up a lot of yards, quite a few points, and you find people open. But when the Cleveland Browns keep piling penalty on top of penalty, and you're back inside your 10-yard line, there's only about 20% of your offense you can use. So the Cleveland Browns are not helping themselves here at all.
Statistically, as you know, Trump, the Chargers this season just don't make sense when you look at their record and what they've done on the field. They outgain just about everybody they play, but they do make the big mistake, and it's often in pass coverage, and nobody knows better than that. Bernie Kosar. Ron Lynn, the defensive coordinator of the Chargers, says nobody reads defenses like Kosar. He swings a sidearm pass. Eric Metcalf gets out to the 16-yard line on a 2nd down and 11 play. He gains 7. Donnie Elder, extra defensive back, number 28, was the tackler.
One thing that has not changed about Bernie Kosar throughout his career is that when he came into the game, he liked that Lindy Infante offense. And even though there have been 6 different coaches, head coaches in 7 years, or 6 different offensive coordinators, they've kept the basics of that Lindy Infante offense. And I think in some seasons, Bernie's taught the assistant coaches the offense as opposed to the other way around.
Now again, Kosar sets in the shotgun on 3rd down and 4 with 4 wide receivers in the game. Here's a blitz. Long ball, and a blown pattern Michael Jackson. It was a fly pattern, and Jackson ran it out.
He got hammered. It was Stanley Richard right up the middle. Eric Metcalf was the man who was assigned to him to block. Watch what happens right up the middle. Both Seau 55 and Richard 24 come right in there, but Richard runs right through Eric Metcalf and gets in Bernie's face. Oh, no completion, 4th down.
Only man near the ball on the play for the San Diego Chargers was Anthony Shelton. So the Browns punt for a second time. The ball is hit back to Kittrick Taylor by Brian Hansen. Taylor from his 40. Chargers will get back in position. One man to beat. That's the kicker. He doesn't do the job, and here comes somebody from off the pace and makes the tackle. But the Chargers will go 1st and 10 from just outside the Cleveland 10-yard line.
Big block by Steve Hendrickson, the Chargers special teams wizard. But man, second stride that Kittrick Taylor had, he's through all of the coverage by the Cleveland Browns. 1, 2, he's by them all. Now it's just foot speed, and actually the punter does his job. He makes him move, and that slows him up for other people to get there. Leroy Horde there on the assist, a 44-yard punt, a 47-yard return, make it 48, and obviously great field position. Now watch this running game.
7:33 to go in the first quarter, and the power game of the San Diego Chargers. 5 yards a rush on the average, and they go to Bernstein. Dang, he stuck hard. Coming up to make the hit was Cedric Figueroa, number 53, who last season was with the San Diego Chargers, a former standout backer at Notre Dame.
Now, Don, what you're seeing on the other side of the ball, we're looking at Rod Bernstein, a converted tight end, but the Cleveland Browns are committing 8 guys to the line of scrimmage to stop the run.
John Freese is young. He hasn't thrown the ball a lot, has 7 TDs and 6 interceptions. Had his first winning start 2 weeks ago when he quarterbacked the Chargers to a victory over the Raiders at Los Angeles. 2nd down and 8 for the first down. 2nd and 10 for the touchdown. Freese play fakes, throws the ball, and the Browns are right there again. Derek Walker, a tight end, got it, and again Cedric Figueroa with Van Waiters was there to make the play. No gain, maybe a half yard.
Even though the Cleveland Browns are 2-4, their defense has not played like they're 2-4. Last week, of course, against the Redskins was the exception for this defense. They've played very solidly under Bill Belichick. But if they can keep San Diego out of the end zone here, just give them 3 points. A great psychological lift for Cleveland.
So far, the Chargers with only 7 yards offense. 3rd down. Timing throw. Freeze. Anthony Miller, he shoots him. And bumping on the play, but apparently when the ball came in was Anthony Blaylock. No flag. Well done by Blaylock. Official right there. And now the Chargers must send out field goal kicker as Freeze comes off.
This is just a 9th start for Freeze. This is the fade pattern. They get Anthony Miller, who is a Pro Bowl receiver, on number 24 for the Cleveland Browns. Anthony Blaylock, and normally Frank Minifield is going to be assigned to Anthony Miller there, but Freeze couldn't get him the ball, so psychological lift for Cleveland.
John Carney, who kicked for Notre Dame's national championship team in '88. It's the first points of the game up, and the Chargers are unable to hit for 6. The Browns stopped them on 3 downs, but Carney does get the field goal, and San Diego takes a 3-0 lead. And the San Diego Chargers, after hitting the field goal, now will kick it off. John Carney, who kicked the field goal, has the ball positioned, and it's in the air, and they're kicking this time to Eric Metcalf from the goal line. Excellent special teams play by the San Diego Chargers. And the Browns again have the long field to go as they'll start this time their 3rd possession at their 16-yard line, as Darren Carrington again is down to make the play. You see the Browns first half scoring problems.
Well, with the long field, it's understandable. Every drive here in this opening quarter started inside the 20. Chargers that time did a great job of getting Metcalf to the sideline. And here the Browns go straight to the line of scrimmage.
Browns in alignment without a huddle as Belichick now awaits a big play. Kosar with good passing numbers so far in the game has been throwing on first down. It's time he goes to the run. And Leroy Horde, who the Browns expect to step up and shoulder the load, left by the absence today of Kevin Mack. Leroy Horde from Michigan is knocked down by Joe Phillips, the nose tackle, and inside backer Gary Plummer. There's the 10-minute ticker. You see the early winners. Minnesota and New England have now gone to overtime. Fuad Revez has kicked a field goal for the Vikings with 20 seconds left at Foxborough. So New England, which had a commanding lead late in the game, 23-13, now it's faced with an overtime matchup against the favored Vikings. It's 2nd down and 8 for Cleveland. Langhorne in motion. Long ball, and the ball is caught and held on to at the 42-yard line by Langhorne, his 10th reception of the year, and probably his best as he paid the price but didn't give it up. 23-yard gain, Trump.
He was the man in motion. We mentioned the motion. You see Langhorne going to the left-hand side of the screen. Bernie sees the single coverage, gets just enough protection, well thrown, right over Gil Bird, right in front of Richard. Bernie can do that. He got hammered in the back. He's going to take a couple of plays off here and catch his breath.
That was his 10th catch. Langhorne, he came in with 9. And the Browns get their biggest play, and now they go to the run. Leroy Horde protecting the ball. The Chargers hunt the ball. They'll try to knock it free. Anthony Shelton, defensive back number 23, made the stop. Leroy Horde was the number 2 draft choice, as you know, Trump, a year ago out of Michigan.
Bernie told us yesterday Cleveland's plan is they want to try to throw to set up the run, realizing that Kevin Mack is not there, and Mack is so much a part of the offense of the Cleveland Browns that they've got to loosen up the defense a little bit with the pass to get the run working.
2nd down and 7 for the Cleveland Browns, who trail 3-0 first quarter. Kosar gets some time, lets it go long. Jackson on the fly, and he loses the ball at the 18-yard line.
Almost caught it.
The super fast Michael Jackson from Southern Mississippi had a step on the defense. A long ball by Kosar hung a bit, and Frank broke it up. Donald Frank.
Still one of the best long passers there is in the NFL, Bernie Kosar. And you can see Jackson almost comes up with that football. And this is a young man that Cleveland considers a real find. They got him late in the draft. Comes out of Southern Mississippi. Only caught 25 passes as a college senior, and of course that was a beer offense down there. They got Ozzie Newsome working on his hands. He almost made a whale of a catch there.
But no connection, and now Kosar on 3rd and 7 steps in. And Bernie Kosar has to eat the ball at the 40-yard line. Nobody open. Not enough time to hunt an open receiver. Junior Seau, who had 12 tackles last week against the Rams, put the rush on Bernie Kosar.
Chargers with 6 defensive backs. And this is one reason why Bernie Kosar has not thrown an interception. He just hangs on to it. Coverage sack. Excellent job downfield by San Diego. Cleveland must punt again.
Bernie approaching Milt Plum's Cleveland Brown record of 208 straight passes without an interception. Good punt downfield. It takes a Browns roll, and they down the ball at the 15-yard line with 3:05 to play in the first quarter. Bernie Kosar getting some counsel on the sideline and probably giving some. As the Chargers now go on offense, 1st down and 10 with a 3-0 lead. Butts is in the backfield, and he crashes ahead for a gain of 10 yards and a 1st down. Marion Butts, who was the Chargers' most valuable player last season, went to the Pro Bowl after 1,200+ yards rushing, then held out this summer. When he came back, Rod Bernstein had the starting job.
Yeah, you know, the thing that amazed me in talking to both Marion Butts and Rod Bernstein, neither is jealous of the other. And Dan Henning says, look, I want these guys fresh, and I don't care what they say. They're going to get 1 series, 2 series, and the other guy's coming in. And neither one of these guys is jealous of the other.
Chargers have only 13 yards rushing so far. 10 of those yards coming on that last run. Freeze, quick out. And there to make the reception is Nate Lewis. a second-year receiver from Oregon Tech. And the Chargers start to open up their offense as they get the ball out from deep in their own end, and they gain on that play about 8 yards.
And looking at John Freeze there, talking to Charlie Joyner, who is the wide receiver coach for the Chargers. And I said, how is it here? And he says, it's no good to be a wide receiver coach in his football team. And I said, why? And he says, Dan Henning will sit in a room for 6 hours figuring out a way to run the ball.
There's Henning. They say, Trump, his perfect dream game would be to run it every play. He was part of the Redskins' last Super Bowl championship team as their offensive coordinator. Here's a big play on defense by Cleveland as they shoot the gap and make the stop in the backfield. Anthony Pleasant, who didn't start the game, goes rocketing through to make the play.
This is the counter series that was made famous by the Diesel, John Riggins at Washington, and Pleasant catches it from behind. You'll see the guard and tackle pull. Pleasant runs inside. There's a running back there that's supposed to block him. He doesn't get it done. And boy, if they make that block, Butts has got a long way to run. Pleasant, big play there for the Cleveland Browns.
He's troubled by an injury, but apparently is in pretty good health right now, at least. The Chargers feel that way as John Freeze drops the throw on third down, looks the ball. It's caught for a first down. Craig McEwen comes down with it, and he's out of bounds across the 45-yard line out to the San Diego 48.
No flags. Now you see teams around the league that don't have tight ends. This team's got 4 of them. They're so specialized. You got Cox, who is the blocker, McEwen, who is the pass receiver. Walker does both, and Hendrickson is he's a wrecking ball. He's the other tight end. So that they shuffle them in there, in and out. McEwen that time makes a big catch off play action.
The Chargers, a huge, powerful offensive team. Their tight ends as big as most offensive tackles. First down and 10 now for San Diego. Freeze plays fakes and throws the ball out. The ball is dropped by Craig McEwen. McEwen makes a good play for first down, then drops an open field reception possibility as Pia Sangapolitelli of the Cleveland Browns put the pressure on John Freeze.
Very good. Sangapolitelli. This is the quarterback rollout. Sangapolitelli doesn't buy it. He does his job. And of course, making his first start for the Cleveland Browns. Rob Burnett out with a pulled calf muscle, and he too from San Diego State. I'll tell you one thing, this kid's like 280. He got out of the elevator yesterday in a hotel with a guy who was twice his size. I'm serious.
John Freeze drops on second down, makes the throw over the middle, and diving at the ball was Anthony Miller.
Overthrown.
Who has been Pro Bowl player the last 2 years, but is not having his greatest year this season. A lot of drops.
Yeah, overthrown. That ball was overthrown. And speaking with Anthony, he's not particularly happy with the choice of the Chargers running the ball so much, but knows that he's got to be prepared, ready to catch the football. That time, he's learning a new quarterback, and the quarterback is learning him. And this guy, Frank Minifield, said yesterday his computer printout on Anthony Miller is, this is the fastest receiver he'll face in the NFL.
Well, he caught 2 touchdown passes against the Browns in San Diego's win last season, did Anthony Miller. Now on third down and 10, Freeze will be dropping deep. Here comes the rush. Harmon brings it out to Ronnie Harmon, and he's going to move ahead for a San Diego first down. He's inside the Cleveland 40-yard line down to the 38.
And he got lost. Nobody picked him up. With the new players on the Browns defense, especially in the defensive backfield, it's understandable. He's wide out there. Clay Matthews inside, 24 Blaylock, 22 Newsom. They just dropped him. Busted coverage. Chargers take advantage.
Ronnie Harmon's the guy who dropped that end zone reception that would have given Buffalo Bills a victory over the Browns in a playoff game a couple of years ago. And even though he was a #1 draft choice of the Bills, they let him go. Chargers picked him up as a free agent. He's been valuable, and here's another running play. Marion Butts looks for a place to slant and tries the right side of the Cleveland defense. Anthony Pleasant, 98, and Richard Brown, at 52, make the stop, and a very quick first quarter comes to an end, with the San Diego Chargers driving and leading the game. Ready to start the second quarter now. The San Diego Chargers with the ball at the 37-yard line of Cleveland. Second down and 8 coming up for the Chargers. They lead the game 3-0. Marion Butts is the running back now as they put two big backs in the backfield. McEwen is also in there.
Yeah, this is their passing set, Don. Let's see what they do.
McEwen moves out to a wingback formation, lower left part of your screen, and a pass indeed as John Freeze sets up. Throws it downfield, and the connection is made inside the 25-yard line.
Oh, I see that kid's hands. Ooh.
Anthony Miller is the man. Frank Minifield was defending, and Miller turned out on him, and John Freeze right on target.
Well, if you're a young receiver, you watch this pass and how Anthony Miller extends his hands to the ball, does not let the ball get to him. Watch his hands out in front of him. Picture perfect. And of course, I think Anthony Miller has a great advantage, taught how to catch the ball when he got here by Charlie Joyner, former teammate of mine. But he's had some drops, as you said, Don, but in any given season, he's one of the 2 or 3 best in the National Football League and probably the least known.
And now the Cleveland Browns defense up against it as Freeze gets more time, swings it out, and one of the big tight ends, Derek Walker, runs the ball inside the 15-yard line and down to the 11. So the diverse offense of the Chargers goes power run and then to the passes. John Freeze, his confidence up after that big game against the Rams last week, throws the connection for a first down.
Don, what San Diego's doing here is Cleveland is committing 7 and 8 guys to the line of scrimmage to stop the run, and San Diego is taking advantage of it. They're not throwing the real deep stuff, just the intermediate stuff. Plenty of time for Freeze to throw because that defensive line must respect the run. Slows down the pass rush.
Chargers rising on. They have the ball now at the 11-yard line. Hands up. And puts the ball inside the 10-yard line, and he's down to the 7. Zangapulatelli, the left end, makes the stop.
Butts, a former blocking back for Sammy Smith while both were at Florida State. So he loves carrying the ball.
Here's the ITT 10-minute ticker. Winners today, Houston, New Orleans, New England, and Minnesota locked in an overtime game at Foxborough. Denver and Kansas City tied up, and San Francisco leads. Rams and Raiders tied. Atlanta leads at Phoenix. Second down and 7 for San Diego. Butts. Dan Waiters slices through, makes the first contact, and slows the 250-pound runner. Then Michael Dean Perry, number 92, finishes him off for Cleveland.
Browns defense making it very tough for this Charger offense to get up through the middle. Straight ahead blocking. The nose tackle, Michael Dean Perry, does an outstanding job on the center. Courtney Hall just stood him up and is there to make the tackle. Michael Dean, of course, because of the injuries to the Cleveland Brown defense, tied to the team defense. They can't turn him loose yet. He prefers to kind of freelance out there a little bit, get up the field, and until this team gets healthier, he can't do it.
Penalties have hurt the Chargers badly this year. 9 last week for 99 yards. They've not had one today. Swing pass to Derek Walker, the big rookie from Michigan, inside the 5-yard line.
Whoa.
Van Waiters had him by the jersey, and Derek Walker, with piston power drive in his legs, broke the tackle and takes it down close to the goal line.
That was a show of strength, wasn't it?
Big show of strength, and they're all strong. Chargers come in big and get bigger as they substitute.
Walker is the outlet receiver, and Waiters has got him dead in his crosshairs. Nice move, good leg strength, powers down to the goal line. Ball bounces.
Very close to a first down, but as you see, just short.
Yeah. Actually, that was not a very friendly spot. Now they're sending bigger people into the lineup now. That's Galliano, Bob Galliano, number 16 on the sideline, signaling the plays in. Here's Belichick.
Belichick, a defensive specialist, sees the Chargers send in 250-pound Marion Butts and 245-pound Rob Bernstein. Their eyes set in the backfield. Bernstein is the deep back. Butts is a tremendous blocker, number 35.
This is going to be a wreck.
Like a wrecking ball. One of these big backs is going to crash into the Cleveland defense. It's Bernstein, and the Browns get him at the goal line and throw him back.
All depends on the spot.
Fourth down try. He didn't have to get much to get a first down, but Richard Brown coming over the top along with Cedric Figaro and good defensive line play. Jones and Michael Dean Perry submarine the blocking.
John Freeze just shook his head. He said, man, that's a bad spot. He was not happy with the spot. He thinks
he didn't appear to have it, Trump.
Yeah, he thinks they shorted Bernstein a little bit.
If they've got it, it's by the nose of the ball. And if they don't, Cleveland has the ball 99 yards away from the Chargers' end zone.
They stop them.
Big sequence for the Cleveland defense. They stop the Chargers at the 1.
Everybody just forces the line of scrimmage as best they possibly can. I mean, I don't know where you spot that. I haven't the slightest idea where you spot that.
Well, what they did, it's all right with Cleveland. The Browns were not happy with the spots they got in certain plays last week. The touchdown that was negated, they even thought they were in. It was ruled a pylon play they're still talking about. Henning said Cleveland got a bad call on it.
Yeah, we had about a 25-minute discussion on that pylon. That pylon is inbounds and in the end zone, and it bounced off, and Cleveland had to turn the ball over to Washington.
But the Browns with a heavy load now, starting from the 1-yard line. Kozar hands off to Joe Morris, and he works hard to get 2 out to the 4-yard line.
That's the pylon we're referring to. That became famous last week in Cleveland. The ball hits that pylon, and by the definition in the league rules, that pylon should be on that white line where the blue is. That's not placed correctly because the pylon is inbounds and in the end zone. Here, they're not placed correctly.
Joe Morris with 3 hard-earned yards, and Kosar now goes on 2nd and 7. Again, the quick hitter up the middle, and the Browns take it out to the 8-yard line. That'll bring up 3rd and about 5. Gary Plummer fills quickly, as again they go to Joe Morris, who at 195 pounds is a man of superhuman strength. He was one of the strongest New York Giants. At a 195, he bench pressed 450.
So unbelievable that you're out one season and come back and play. Totally out of football.
Totally out.
That's so rare for a player to ever do that. This has been a problem for Cleveland throughout the season so far. 3rd down conversions.
Joe Morris let go by the Giants. Didn't sign with anybody. Belichick remembered so well all the good things he did in those years with the Giants, and signed him for the Cleveland Browns. Now Kosar on 3rd and 5 from his end zone. Loops it up. And very nearly, San Diego Charger might have picked it up as Leroy Horde was running a pattern over the middle and seemed to stop.
Yeah, but he was just throwing that ball to make sure that there was no safety. Again, Stanley Richard, the free safety, comes on a blitz. You'll see him on the right-hand side. There's 24 right on the edge of converting to and he just lobs it up there to make sure that there's no safety. Shelton also, Anthony Shelton, 23, pressure on Kosar.
Very nearly holding in the end zone, which is a safety. An offensive penalty in the end zone, a safety. Snap to Hansen. They set up the return. He hits a good punt downfield. And a fair catch is signaled for and made by Kitrick Taylor. So Hansen again delivers big with his right foot for the Cleveland Browns, punting out of his end zone. A long punt, and the Chargers take over at midfield, holding to a 3-0 lead. Quarter starts out 1st and 10. Into the power run they go. Accelerating hard into the gap is Rod Bernstein. Cleveland holding down the San Diego rushing game. That game was for 9 yards, but that only gives them 27 yards rushing for the game.
But you know, Don, that does not discourage San Diego. I mean, 1st, 2nd quarter, you may shut us down. We're still going to run it at you. So when you leave San Diego's Jack Murphy Stadium, when you play the Chargers or wherever you play them, you're not only going to be impressed, you're going to be bruised from playing this offense.
San Diego comes in 13th in the NFL in overall offense with one of the best running games. 5 yards a rush. John Freeze plays fakes, takes a look. They give him time. And almost a pick by Frank Dinifield. Ball might have been tipped by the receiver.
No, it was tipped by Waiters. That took an awful long time for John Freeze to throw. See that extra step? That's the inexperience of John Freeze. Waiters does tip it. And it's also tipped by Anthony Miller, but Freeze will learn that you set and throw. That little hitch step there hurt the timing of that pattern because Miller was open.
John Freeze is a 6th round draft choice out of Idaho. Not very fast. Runs a 5-second 40, told us yesterday. But he's big, 6'4", 216 pounds. And he's learning quickly. Henning says he's way ahead of where we thought he'd be at this point. Handoff. Bernstein breaks it. Not done. He could go as he's inside the 25-yard line. So Bernstein hit just beyond the line of scrimmage, busts the tackle wide open, and takes it ahead for a first down.
Don, one of the things about the Browns defense, if you're going to commit 8 guys to the line of scrimmage, they got to make the tackles. They absolutely can't miss. Arlen Barnett, 37, misses the tackle. That allows Bernstein to get in the defensive backfield. Watch 37. And you got to stop him right there. He ends up picking up 24 yards.
Minifield finally gets him. But the Chargers drive on, leading 3-0. 8:30 to play in the first half. On 1st and 10, back to the run, and Bernstein, who was an All-American tight end as a collegiate at Texas A&M.
Yeah, you know why he was a tight end? He was recruited to Texas A&M as a running back, but they had so many good running backs, including Roger Bick of the New York Jets.
Former #1.
Yeah, they wanted to put him in the lineup, so they made him a tight end. So he said, when I came here and they made me a tight end, I wanted to be Kellen Winslow. And I said, what do you mean? He said, catch the ball and block nobody. And then when they said, we want you at running back, he kind of discouraged it. And then they kind of moved him into it. Now he likes it a lot.
And he's getting trucking here. Bernstein with 6 carries for 33 yards. He likes to get it a lot. Here's Freeze throwing on 2nd down. Swings it out. And Van Waiters comes up and makes the play on tight end Derek Walker. There's actually a loss of a yard on the play. It's going to be 3rd down and 8. Well done by Van Waiters, a young linebacker out of Indiana.
Again, the outlet receiver that Freeze goes to.
As we check the ITT 10-minute ticker. Vikings and Patriots still battling it out in overtime.
It's a long overtime, isn't it?
It is. If it goes the full 15 minutes with no score, it goes as a half-game won and a half-game loss for each team. Now extra line receivers in the game for San Diego. 3rd down, and the Chargers need 9. Here's a blitz on Freeze. They get it. Free ball. Browns have it. Safety blitz, and Cedric Figueroa comes up with a football, so the Cleveland Browns hit a big play on defense.
Barnett untouched from the outside of the rush. We got a flag down too, Don.
The ball was loose on the point of a penalty. There's no penalty. Disregard the flag.
Okay, what he's saying is it was a fumble. Arlen Barnett comes from the outside, a rare blitz by this Cleveland Brown defense, and it produces the turnover.
So the Belichick defense, based on the much talked about principle of bend not breaking, gets the ball back. The recovery. Arlen Barnett forced it with a safety blitz. Cedric Figueroa came up with the ball. Kozar lets it go long, and running the deep pattern is Webster Slaughter, but he catches it out of bounds. Might have been good in college, Trump. I think he might have had 1 foot in, but you have to have both down in this league, and Sam Seal was beaten on the play, but got lucky with the out-of-bounds line.
Webster comes up limping a little bit, too. Again, good pressure by San Diego on Kosar, but Kosar puts it right on the money. You can see clearly his foot is out of bounds. By the way, Don, at the 30-yard line here for the Cleveland Browns, their best starting field position.
Browns hanging in tough, though. A lot of adversity early, and yet they're still very much in the game, just down by 3 points. On 2nd and 10, Kosar, big, almost 6'6", 220 pounds. Checks with his receivers. Here comes a blitz from Junior Seau. Nice pickup by the Browns, an out pattern, though, and receiver Slaughter is running deep. And Kosar threw an out pattern.
Kosar on the ground.
George Hinkle got a big rush on him then, number 97.
Yeah, they commit a lot of people to the quarterback. You see Seau 55 on the outside, 91 is O'Neal. And then Hinkle gets him from the back, puts him down tenderly. They got to keep this guy protected. I mean, with Mack out, this is it.
Ernie Kosar is the man. A terrific play by left tackle Tony Jones, who picked up the ever-dangerous Junior Seau. Cleveland, as you see, been able to convert a third down try as they go on 3rd and 10. There's a throw and a penalty markers down at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, that was intended for Metcalf on the screen. San Diego read it perfectly. Bernie just threw it away. I think I see Pat Haggerty say motion. Yes, well, San Diego turned the penalty down. Bring up 4th and 10.
Illegal motion. Offense. Number 76. Moving forward before the snap. Decline.
Well, it wasn't 76, whoever it was. Let's see if we can pick it up. The left tackle, Tony Jones. Bernie Kosar, Oprah's last 6, and this is a screen all the way. And again, Bernie gets popped. He has paid a price in this first half. He has been hit a bunch.
It's apparent the Browns are going to have to continue to throw to move the ball as Brian Hansen, who has done yeoman's work punting the ball, hits a knuckler downfield. It'll be returned by Kitrick Taylor from his 31. Open gap, and he's cut down at the 43-yard line. Bill Belichick told us yesterday a key to this game is that our special teams have to give field position both ways. They have to keep the Chargers at bay. They've done that for the most part with the kicking game.
I know they're down just 3-0.
I'll tell you one thing, this Brown defense is so vastly improved over last year, it's astounding. They're really in position all the time. Here's a throw and an overthrow by John Freeze, and a booming hit is laid on the receiver by Minifield, who's playing with 2 sore shoulders. Anthony Miller.
That was bad fundamentals by John Freeze, and Miller gets up and says, come on, man. You got to set your feet. He kind of overthrows this one. He's on the right hash, and he's thrown to the far sideline, and he wants a little more oomph on it, and he didn't like it.
Here's a report from the sideline from Charger running back Rob Bernstein with a bruised hip. His return to the game listed as questionable right now.
Goodness.
2nd down and 10 for the San Diego Chargers. Freeze goes to the delay, to the draw, and butts, hits into some Cleveland Browns. And the knockdown is made at about the 43-yard line. So on 2nd and 10, the Chargers get very little. A reminder that the conclusion of today's game will be presenting the Avis We Try Harder Award, which will be given to the game's MVP. New people now coming on the field for the Chargers. Extra wide receivers. Some of those big H-backs and tight ends come out.
I'd watch
with speed.
I'd watch for Ronnie Harmon, 33.
They love him on 3rd down. Freeze told us yesterday Harmon has the best hands on the team.
And you know, he was let go by Buffalo because of his forehands.
Forehands one day in Cleveland. Freeze stands in. Here's the rush. Swing pass does indeed go to Harmon, but the Browns knock him down short of the 1st down. He'll be a yard short at the 49-yard line. Arlen Barnett having a big game at strong safety. Threw Ronnie Harmon out of bounds before he could get to the marker.
Good, tough tackle by Barnett. Again, good coverage downfield because, as you can see, Freeze looking all over the place. And Harmon is the outlet receiver. Now watch Barnett. Puts his head down. Excellent fundamentals there on the tackle. Clay Matthews helps get him out of bounds. 4th and short. Right at the 50-yard line. Do you try for it here? Larry Pasquale is the special teams coach of the Chargers. He likes to trick them.
Back is Gary Plummer. They've snapped to him before. It looks like a punt all the way. John Kidd steps in, hits a high punt. And the sure-handed Brian Brennan is there to get the ball. He loses it, but it appeared Cleveland fell on it. So Brian Brennan put back there because of his sure hands, lost the ball in the Southern California sun, and now there's a fight for the football, but the initial signal was that the Cleveland Browns had recovered.
I haven't seen a signal yet as to who has it. Have you? Well, they're saying the Browns got it.
That was the first signal. We're going to go a couple rounds here before we...
The 2 guys down there on the bottom will not get up. That's Jock Jones for Cleveland and Marion Butts for San Diego.
These guys all know each other. 3 Cleveland linebackers were with the Chargers last season: Figueroa, Brandon, and Brown.
Well, kind of knuckles on Brian Brennan. You can see it loose. Now Jones is there at the same time with Marion Butts. And now it's arm strength. Who can tear it away from home? And the Cleveland Browns do maintain possession.
Bill Belichick sends his offense out now. Cleveland set to go after recovering their own fumbled punt. And it's first down and 10 at the 17-yard line. Morris runs hard, and Junior Seau, 55. A sensational player from Southern California, one of the top picks in the draft a year ago. This guy has got it. They talked about him being a Lawrence Taylor play-alike coming out of college. The Xerox Sports Backs. Jim Brown is an All-American in 2 different sports when he played at Syracuse University. Which 2 sports are they?
One is obvious.
Answer after the next play. Second and 10. Let's see what Kozar goes to now. Backpedals and looks for the open man. He finds him. Webster Slaughter puts on moves, and Webster Slaughter works himself out to the 33-yard line. A 15-yard gain, 16-yard gain, and a first down.
Sam Seal is the man in coverage. Just a little square out by Webster Slaughter. Bernie this time has time. Now watch this move by Slaughter. They got Sam Seal out of position, didn't he? Ends up being a 16-yard pickup.
Webster, as you know, Trump has not been happy with the number of times he's had the ball thrown to him this year. In fact, has even met with Browns owner Art Modell about it. He wants to get it all day long if he can, but the problem when you're Webster Slaughter is you're double teamed all the time. Blows a perfect strike down field, but is just a bit behind Slaughter. Almost a big hit for the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, the other problem with throwing to Webster Slaughter or any receiver on a regular basis is that your quarterback is going to get killed. And when Bernie Kosar is your quarterback, even though you can almost make those catches one-handed, you've got to slow down the pass rush. So that's why Webster Slaughter is not getting the ball as much as he can. That was a nice attempt.
That's where the Chargers are vulnerable in their secondary. Bernie Kosar changes the play, which he does about as much as any quarterback in football. His center, Mike Babb, signals the line blocking. Here's a blitz. They pick it up. Kosar lets it go. Whoa, very nearly a connection before the ball came in, but the official says no, it was clean despite the protests of Webster Slaughter. Incomplete pass. Now, while we have a moment, let's go to NFL Live in New York and Bob Costas. Bob.
Don, end of a weird game in Foxborough. 5 seconds to play in overtime. Jason Starofsky nails a 42-yarder. New England beats Minnesota 26-23. New England had led by 10 with a minute and a half to go. The Vikings rallied to force overtime using an onside kick to do it. Starofsky, who had had a point-after attempt blocked in regulation, also missed an easy field goal in OT, then got a chance to redeem himself, and he does. 26-23. Don?
Unbelievable. Dick McPherson, the coach of the Patriots, a former assistant coach with the Browns, will have to hold him down with tie ropes. This man goes to the moon when they went. Here's a throw to Slaughter on a slant play, third down. A terrific defensive play by the ex-Raider Sam Seal, who makes the tackle. Slaughter, had Seal missed him, would have been still running.
And Seal has not gotten up yet. Well, now he does get up. I know the answer to this, don't you? Football and lacrosse.
Jim Brown has always said that lacrosse was his best sport.
The one he liked the most, too. But you don't make money playing lacrosse. Well, again, the Cleveland Browns are giving the ball up here. They have not had anything sustained yet today.
Syracuse had those 2 brothers that graduated a year ago, the Gates brothers from Vancouver, Canada, who are the 2 greatest college players in history since Jim Brown in lacrosse. Same school.
I don't know what's going on here. There were 2 seconds. There's 2 seconds left on the 45-second clock, but a line judge comes in and says something here.
Timeout.
Chargers
San Diego, number 1.
Let's see what they have. 2, 4, 6, 8. They only had 9 guys. There's 10. They only had 10 guys on the field. Somebody's missing.
College football last night, the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame extended their record to 6-1 with a victory over the Air Force Academy, 28-15. Perhaps a Pyrrhic victory as a couple of top Irish defensive linemen went down, but Notre Dame, with maybe its best offense ever in the opinion of people out there, gets set to meet its arch rival Southern California next Saturday here on NBC Sports. The tradition of USC Notre Dame, the longest running intersectional battle, dating back to 1926. Tailback Mazio Royster leads the Trojans ground offense against the passing of Rick Meyer and a Notre Dame offense that rushes for 6 yards a try.
Did you say 1926?
Yeah.
Man, it had to take all week to get out to Southern California from.
Yeah, they used to go by train, and Canute Brockney would have them practice in Arizona, put in the trick plays out there. Now Brian Hansen has to punt again for the Cleveland Browns, but field position is now inching the Browns' way, and against the Chargers, San Diego dominated field position early, but has only 3 points. A 3-0 lead. Big rush. Hansen hits an end-over-end floater that Kitrick Taylor has to fair catch at his 20-yard line. So sound special teams play by the Cleveland Browns saved that long punt return early in the game. Has now pinned the Chargers back at least at their 20. They've had great field position for most of this day. As you look at the ITT 10-minute ticker, the Patriots now a 3-4 team.
Amazing. And you're right about McPherson. He's hanging from the chandelier tonight.
He's a great guy. Dick McPherson, he coached with the Browns in '80, and after that playoff loss, Cleveland Stadium to the Oakland Raiders when they went on to win the Super Bowl. The ill-fated pass of Brian Sipe that was picked off by Mike Davis.
Who lives here in San Diego, I might add.
Brian Sipe.
Brian Sipe does.
Yeah, up in Encinitas. He's here today back in the Browns. John Free stops the throw for the Chargers. Drills one. A great throw by Free. The man is open and then taken down. Nate Lewis, had he broken the tackle, might have gone the distance, but Vince Newsom, the Browns' #1 tackler this season, makes the tackle.
And the hurry-up offense begins for the San Diego Chargers here with 2:06 to go, trying to get one more play before that 2-minute warning, and they do.
Here's the throw. McEwen drops a second pass in open field. Now the 2-minute warning is given. The San Diego Chargers holding to a 3-0 lead.
Liberty Mutual Insurance presents Legends of the Game. He was a member of the original fearsome foursome, a Phi Beta.
Stadium. Cleveland Browns without points yet. Webster Slaughter very close to some very big plays. He was caught on a 3rd down slant, caught the ball and was almost on his way. Now the Chargers have the ball, 2nd down and 10 at their 45-yard line. We'll be going to New York at NFL Live with Bob, O.J., and Bill with scores and highlights. The Domino's Pizza NFL Live halftime report. 3rd down and 6. Freeze throws long. Foot race.
Receiver was out of bounds. He was also tripped. You see the official on the sideline threw his hat down? That marks the spot where the receiver, there's the hat on the sideline. When you go out of bounds, anything can happen. Watch what happens. Nice foot race here, Nate Lewis. But when he steps out of bounds, the official will throw his hat down right there. So any contact.
Blaylock was looking back, going for the ball. A good second look. Our producer today for NBC Sports is Victor Frank. Our director, Richard Klein. Executive producer of NBC Sports, Terry O'Neill. As the Chargers are now forced to punt, John Kidd will kick it, and Ryan Brennan, who bobbled the last one, but the Browns recovered his back for Cleveland. Kidd hits a high punt. Brennan comes up on it, signals the fair catch, and takes it sure-handed at the 17-yard line. So with 1:27 to go, the Cleveland Browns get the offense when we come back.
Protection for Kosar. Brennan runs the crossing route underneath the coverage. Looks like Gil Bert is the man that's supposed to be there in coverage. And this is where the San Diego defensive backs will be most exposed. They've got 6 of them out there. There's man coverage underneath and zone on top. So the Cleveland Browns should be able to get the ball down the field here. Not sure they'll be able to get it in the end zone, but certainly down the field.
Bill Belichick, resplendent in Cleveland Browns orange.
Very quiet guy, driving the press in Cleveland nuts. Won't address the injury situation. Not very talkative.
I know what they thought of him with the Giants. They thought he was the difference in 2 Super Bowl wins.
Whoa.
Trick play. It goes to Metcalf. He's inside, across the 40 and then out to the 43-yard line. So the Browns go into their bag of tricks, but time is working against them. Clock running. 48 seconds left to play. But as Ron Lynn, the defensive coordinator of the Chargers, told us yesterday, there's no better quarterback in football in the 2-minute drill than Kosar. That's where he is at absolute best. Kosar dumps it off to Eric Metcalf, heading for the sidelines, and he does. Penalty markers come in. That'll stop the clock for the Browns and also give them additional yardage. It looked like a face mask.
Yeah, that was a great tackle by Henry Rolling. Face mask against San Diego. Actually, they don't mind. The idea here is to make sure that nobody gets deeper than your deepest defensive back. If they're going to get it, make them work for it. The clock is on their side. 32 yards. Outlet to Metcalf. Watch Rolling now. Realizes the desperation here. I got to get this guy on the ground. He grabs the face mask, and it's a major face mask penalty. So you tack 15 yards onto the reception.
Face mask, 15-yard penalty, first down.
And Bernie Kosar has established a Cleveland Brown record, surpassing Milt Plum. Kosar has now thrown 208 straight passes without an interception. First down. Kosar, deep drop. He makes the connection. That's Langhorne running down to the 33-yard line. And the clock's down to 25 seconds, and the Browns stop it. Browns making good use of their timeouts. And so now they're down in field goal range for Matt Stover, but they still have time to work perhaps 3 or 4 more plays.
This is a commercial for this clever little portable CD player from Magnavox, the inventors of CD technology.
Brennan is uncovered. With one timeout left, you want to save that for the field goal. You know they're going to throw outside, and they run the blitz. Not very smart defense, Don.
Now they come with a 4-man rush. Kosar takes a look. He's got an open man in Michael Jackson, and he is down to the 13-yard line. Clock running, and a Browns stop it with 10 seconds to play. So they're in very good field goal range, but I think they're going to take a try at the end zone.
Yeah, Jackson, the rookie, makes a mistake. You don't fight for inches in the last parts of a half or a game. You save seconds. And he's got to get out of bounds. No matter what happens, the inch or the foot he gains is inconsequential. You make the reception, and you get out of bounds. Now watch this hesitation. That's what killed him right there. You got to run straight for the out-of-bounds marker. Donald Frank on the tackle. I think you try one more time in the end zone. You can't take the sack here because no timeouts left. So Bernie Smart, he's got that. Quarterbacks have that clock in their head. They can go 1,001, 1,002, and know when 10 is up. So there should be a tick left here for the field goal attempt.
To run a draw play up the middle. They've got to throw the ball. Here's Brennan in motion. That's who they might be looking at in the end zone. Kosar takes a look. Long ball. Langhorne, and Bernie Kosar wisely throws it away. Not risking an interception when there was no one clearly open, and giving his place kicker Matt Stover a chance to tie the game on the final play of the first half. Bernie Kosar, a tough man to blitz. I remember before the 1983 national championship game between Miami and #1 Nebraska, watching Miami practice, running all-out blitz drills against Kosar. And Mike Holloway, now the GM of the Oilers, saying that they blitz Kosar, Miami's going to win the national championship. Nebraska blitzed him, and Kosar killed him, and Miami did indeed win its first national championship. As Stover picks the ball up and through on the final play of the half. So the Cleveland Browns, with their defense hanging in and the good punting of Brian Hansen, get a sustained drive and tie the game. 23-yard line, a 25-yard return by Nate Lewis, and the Chargers go on offense their 1st and 10 with their young quarterback John Freeze pulling the trigger.
John Freeze did not have a good half. He missed some receivers that he should not have missed. He was 11 of 19 but there were a couple of overthrows in crucial situations. He's only had 100 yards, 100 yards, 104 yards in the first half.
And Rod Bernstein, Trump, is back in the San Diego backfield. He was questionable with a bruised hip in the first half, but he's set to go now. Bernstein gets the carry and breaks ahead, taken on at the 27-yard line. He's ahead for a gain of almost 8 yards, close to the 30-yard line.
Well, again, if you just tuned in, the Cleveland Browns defense has been outstanding. The San Diego Chargers had the ball point blank a couple of times, and Cleveland's kept them out of the end zone, then stopped them on a 4th down. There you see the rushing yards. That's Bernstein himself and the Browns collectively as a team.
But today it's been pretty much of a standoff. Cleveland's defense well aligned and in position to stop the power game for the most part. It's Freeze drops to throw on 2nd down. Incomplete at the 48-yard line, and here's a penalty marker in. Anthony Miller, it was ruled, was interfered with by Frank Minifield. So the Chargers will get a 1st down on the play.
Actually, all flags that could be thrown in that situation were thrown. Minifield with Miller, the slant. There's no question there's contact there, and Frank is not looking at the ball. He has no complaint whatsoever.
Defensive pass interference, number 31, 1st down.
Frank Minifield telling us yesterday that he was not in the Cleveland lineup when Anthony Miller caught the 2 touchdowns against the Browns last year in the Chargers win. He was holding out at the time. It was fairly early in the season.
Yeah, he hasn't faced him much, but he certainly has great respect for him. And of course, the other factor is Frank Minifield now he's the lock-on coverage cornerback. And he gets the other team's best receiver every week. So this guy gets no breaks.
Miller, as you pointed out, Trump, is the fastest receiver Minifield says he'll face this season. He's caught 18 touchdown passes over the previous 2 seasons, 9 each year. He's caught 3 for scores this year, but there have been no touchdowns today. It's a 3-3 game as we open the 3rd quarter. Less than a minute gone by in it. Freeze stands in the pocket, loops it long. Good coverage by the Browns. A beautiful play by Stephen Braggs of the Cleveland Browns, running step for step with the super fast Nate Lewis. That's the kind you put on a coach's reel.
That was beautiful coverage. At the end of this play, you can see Braggs just get his hands up and knock the ball away. Now see, as Nate Lewis learns a little bit, when you're running that pattern, you slow down, you make the guy collide with you a little bit, help the officials make a call. That was perfect coverage by Braggs.
Number 36, Stephen Braggs, a 5th-year player for the Browns from the University of Texas, as the Chargers are obviously trying to hit the big play and go up by a touchdown. Here's Bernstein running hard on 2nd down. He gets to midfield, perhaps across it. James Jones, a 295-pound rookie defensive tackle. Number 96 makes the hit for the Browns.
You know, I mentioned that the Browns had not converted a 3rd down to a 1st down. The Chargers not doing well either, just 3 of 9 in the first half. And that's a problem that they've had throughout the season. They just can't seem to get those 3rd downs converted, just 31% of the time. And here's a big one. Here's a critical one.
The Chargers stack 2 receivers left. Next 3 receivers left, an overload there, and now going in motion is Ronnie Harmon. He might be the target. Harmon late moving out of the backfield. John Freeze gets away for the moment, and the Browns come up and get him at the 47-yard line of Cleveland. He is 3 yards short of a 1st down. And San Diego's opening drive, while it moved the ball, ends up in a punting down.
Excellent pressure. James Jones, Michael Dean Perry, Williams' little brother. They were all over the place. This is one of the few times that Freeze has really been pressured. There you see Perry ran the game outside. Wise 93 almost gets him. And then 53, Cedric Figueroa, 53, finally makes the tackle.
Browns have 12 sacks this season, none today. Michael Dean Perry has 4 of the sacks. John Kidd set to punt for San Diego, hits a high punt. And again, Ryan Brennan moves up on it and fields the ball at his 21-yard line. A tough job catching high with people coming down and yelling at you from a yard away. A 27-yard punt Cleveland goes on offense when we come back. Contingent in a smaller version of the dog pound, and the closed end of Jack Murphy Stadium as the Browns go on offense now for the first time in the second half. Handoff to Morris, fighting hard, diving ahead. Joe Morris gets across the 25-yard line for a gain of almost 5.
To catch you up to date on what happened to the Browns in the first half, 6 punts by the Cleveland Browns. Brian Hansen, 7 punts. Very, very busy in the first half. Field position very poor for Cleveland. Something that Belichick wants his team to have, good field position.
Second down and a long 5 now. Junior Seau was the tackler on that last run. John Talley goes in motion as the handoff goes to Leroy Horde. And the Chargers come hitting hard on him. The nose tackle, Joe Phillips, number 75, was the first guy to get him. Phillips, a comeback story. We'll get to that as we look at the Hertz 10-minute ticker. Denver leading Kansas City. 49ers in control of the Lions. Joe Phillips was jumped by 3 men outside a Mission Bay bar restaurant and beaten so severely he missed the last 13 games of last season. He's very lucky to be alive, really.
Certainly changed his life, he has said.
It took 3 guys to beat him up. 315 pounds. Third down and 3 for Bernie Kosar. He goes to Metcalf, and a good defensive play by Joe Phillips. The big guy stayed home and stopped the run, and Cleveland has to punt the ball.
And that's exactly what he did. Stayed at home. So now Cleveland 0 for 7 on third down conversions. And you see Joe Phillips gets Mike Babb, the center, on the ground and is there to make the tackle. Big play by Joe Phillips. A big man. Barely fits inside that helmet. You notice that?
It's a big man, not like Louis Kelcher, who was here a few years ago.
Dave Butts, Washington Redskins.
Ryan Hansen punts it yet again. A low kick. It'll come back at the Cleveland Browns by Kittrick Taylor. And he's run out of bounds across the 40-yard line out to the San Diego 44. So now a penalty marker comes in after the play.
Late hit out of bounds. They're going to add 15 yards onto it. Harlan Barnett, 37, is the one complaining. Generally, the one complaining is the one that gets the flag on them.
So the Chargers, with their second possession of the second half, will start off in very good field position. Pat Haggerty checks with the linesman and the back judge, and let's see what the call is.
Personal foul, number 37. Personal foul, hit out of bounds.
It was indeed Harlan Barnett, the man who was complaining. And so the Chargers have the ball advanced across midfield. And it'll be positioned all the way down at the 41-yard line of Cleveland. And again, Browns defense is backed up to start a drive.
Clearly a penalty by Harlan Barnett, and again puts the Cleveland Brown defense in a very tough spot. Excellent field position for San Diego. Not a smart play, Don.
Not at all, as the Chargers now going offense. First and 10 at the Cleveland 41-yard line. San Diego ready to roll, and they throw the ball, and again John Freeze is off target. Trump.
Just a little bit, not big, just a little bit. Just his 9th NFL start. Nate Lewis was the intended receiver. Just not quite there. Again, not setting well. Pio Songapolatelli gets his hand up there, but that's not on the receiver.
Nate Lewis. 10:03 to go. Excuse me, Trump.
And Don, I was going to say, when you've got a young quarterback like John Freeze, just his second season in the NFL, you have to expect that.
He never started a game till the final game of last season, and he started everyone this year. He's 1-7 as a starter in the NFL. Freeze fires over the middle to an open Anthony Miller. And he uses his speed to cut back and get to the Cleveland 20-yard line. But Frank Minifield brings him down.
Don, again, you could see after that 20-yard pickup by Anthony Miller, the number of people Cleveland commits to the run at the line of scrimmage. And that leaves those linebackers way up at the line of scrimmage and no underneath help for the defensive backs. And even as good as Frank Minifield is, play after play after play without underneath support for a defensive back, the receiver's going to win. If the quarterback can get him the ball, the receiver's going to win.
Clay Matthews also getting back to assist on the tackle. But the Chargers now threatening. This game tied 3-3, third quarter. First and 10 at the Cleveland 21. This is Bernstein. And a big play in the backfield by Michael Dean Perry. Shot gap and makes the play. Next Sunday, NBC Sports presents more NFL action. An exciting doubleheader beginning at 12:30 Eastern Time with NFL Live. Then the AFC Central leading Houston Oilers, who won today at Miami, unleash their high-scoring run-and-shoot offense when they host Cincinnati in the Astrodome. In the second half of the doubleheader, some of you will see that bitter AFC Central rivalry renewed as the Steelers collide with the Browns at Cleveland Stadium. Others will see the San Diego Chargers square off against the Seahawks. All of a sudden, a hot club is Seattle, and they'll play at Seattle. John Freeze on second down, fires over the middle, makes a high percentage connection. Sean Jefferson, a rookie receiver, has the ball down to the 15-yard line. And third down and 4 now arises for San Diego as the tackler on the play was Frank Minifield.
Sean Jefferson is the young man they got from Houston in the Lee Williams deal. They got a draft choice in Sean Jefferson from Houston for Lee Williams. Lee Williams out with a broken arm for Houston. And Sean Jefferson, frankly, coming along slowly, I think is the best way to put it.
Anthony Pleasant now comes in the game as a pass rusher. Odie Harris is an extra defensive back. Chargers need 4 on third down. There's a blitz. They pick it up. A throw and a catch. And it looks to be a first down by Kitrick Taylor.
Actually, that play is illegal.
Illegal pick.
It's an illegal pick all the way. The man coming inside in motion picks off not one, but 2 guys. Watch the left-hand side of the screen. Kitrick Taylor is the man up, and you see all the traffic there. Well, you can't really pick up what happens, but you can see that the coverage is way off by Odie Harris, and he just got caught up in the wash. A lot of teams run it. They get away with it, but that's an illegal pick. It works.
Now with their spotting the ball, they're going to have to measure the initial put down. Appeared to be enough for the first down, and it is.
Well, San Diego's been in this spot, what, 3 times before and come away with just 3 points?
That's all. First down and 10 for the Chargers, just outside the Cleveland 10-yard line. They could conceivably get another first down. Dan Henning, 48 years old, has had trouble in close games here at San Diego. His record 4-18 with the Chargers in games decided by 7 points or less.
Again, a big test for the Browns defense here. They've been in this spot all day long, Don.
John Freeze gives off to Harmon. He's going in. Ronnie Harmon, touchdown Chargers.
Nice trap run by San Diego. That's the 3rd time San Diego's been inside the 20, and it's their first score. Watch the trap. It's the TO, tackle and off guard. Actually, it's the counter, and they do a great job. Harmon gets it up in there, hangs onto the football, 10 yards and a score.
Eric Moten, the big rookie from Michigan State at left guard, was a key blocker for the Chargers. As John Carney spins the extra point up and through, and the first touchdown's on the board, and the Chargers have taken a 10-3 lead. We'll be back with the San Diego kickoff after this. Taking a hard up. Getting down, Ronnie Harmon, who scored the touchdown, makes the tackle on special teams from.
Watch the delay. That allows the guard and the tackle to get in front of him. Excellent down blocking by the right side of the offensive line, and there's basically nobody there at the line of scrimmage to make the stop. San Diego's first touchdown of the day.
Harry Swain with a good block also, joining Moten on the left side. Now Bernie Kosar on the Browns offense comes out. So far today, Cleveland has just 6 first downs. The Browns have not turned the ball over. The Chargers have turned it over once.
Cleveland hasn't converted a 3rd down yet today, Don.
Right now they're going with 1st and 10. Long ball. Webster Slaughter can't get to it. As Bernie Kosar rifles a long pass to the far sideline. Sam Seal was running with Webster Slaughter. So a first down miss makes it a tough call now. 2nd and 10.
Obviously, the future for the Cleveland Browns is going to be tied totally on this young man's shoulders. They have gotten very little running today from Joe Morris and Leroy Horde. And when you have an offense where it's just one-dimensional, it is a great advantage for the defense. They can set the defense to stop the pass, dare you to run. Eric Metcalf has been very little factor today. So again, Bernie Kosar put a great jeopardy for the Browns.
2nd down. Big rush. Kosar eludes it. Running for the sideline. He throws and makes a connection out at the 32-yard line. A gain of 8 yards to Leroy Horde, who made a good blitz adjustment and ran an out pattern where Kosar could find him.
Probably as much scrambling as you'll see Bernie Kosar do. Just a 4-man rush. It's 97 Hinkle who flushes him out of the pocket. Bernie, even though he's picked up a little weight, still not very agile quarterback on the run, but is able to throw it beautifully to Horde for a nice 8-yard pickup.
Kosar in his 7th year with the Browns, and he's still only 27 years old.
I think they're reviewing this play. Yeah, you know, Bernie Kosar is not the only young guy out there. Courtney Hall graduated from right in there looking at this. Are both feet in? Is the ball caught? Yes. Good catch, good call on the field. It should stand.
Play as ruled. Continue.
So now the Browns go with a 3rd down and 2 play. 0 for 7 on 3rd down conversions. Kosar looks, throws an out pattern, taken for a first down. Nicely done by tight end Scott Galbraith. And the penalty marker comes in after the play, so there could be additional yardage tagged down on a personal foul call. Might be a face mask.
That's a face mask. There's Rod Birdstein leaving with a bad hip.
One of the best runners in the NFL.
Number 88.
Oh. San Diego runs the pick and gets away with it. And then Cleveland runs the pick and they don't get away with it. Come on. Reggie Langhorne is the guy who gets caught. So the play is going to come back. There's no question that the intent of that play was the pick. There's a big crowd of receivers on this side of the field, Don, and they just tried to get Galbraith out there. They did, but they got caught.
Bernie Kosar missed postseason play for the first time in 6 NFL seasons last season. And for the first time in 2 collegiate seasons, he led Miami to major postseason success before joining the Browns. Miami of Florida. 3rd down and 12 now for Kosar. Here's a blitz. They pick it up. He gets some time. Long ball. Michael Jackson going for the ball, but it's just over his outstretched hands at the San Diego 40-yard line. Big throw by Kosar, but just a bit long for the super fast rookie Michael Jackson.
Good protection. Just can't quite get the ball in there to Jackson, and now Cleveland is 0 for 8 in 3rd down conversions. Donald Frank, 27, the man in coverage. That is a key stat. 0 for 8 on 3rd downs, Don.
Brian Hansen ready to punt the ball again. His 8th punt of the day. They set up the return. He hits an end-over-end punt that'll come back at the Browns. And Kitrick Taylor takes it over midfield to the Cleveland 48-yard line. And that's where the Chargers will go on offense with 5:52 to play in the 3rd quarter. And San Diego holding to a 10-3 lead. At halftime, it was a 3-3 game. Chargers scored the only touchdown of the game on their last possession.
Working to be the best they can be. Teammates, sponsored by the U.S. Army. As backfield mates in Miami, Jim Kick and Larry Zonka were nearly inseparable. Close friends both on and off the field, Kick was a fine runner, receiver, and blocker, helping Zonka reach the Hall of Fame. Zonka returned the favor, blocking for Kick. A relationship so close, they became known as Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Teammates in life who made the Dolphins the best they can be.
I can't tell you how it feels when you're way out there on your own tracking the bad guys. How it feels leading a skilled team that's the eyes and ears of the whole outfit. When all your training is coming alive. But finding those tanks and telling the air cavalry right where to hit them, I can tell you exactly how that feels.
At Acura, we believe that the best way to discourage limited thinking is to design cars in an environment without limits. The NSX, precision-crafted performance from Acura.
The temperature never drops below 0x. That's very important to remember, especially at a time like this, when it's very deserted and very cold. Ah, you did remember 0x antifreeze. The temperature never drops below 0.
Also the field position against San Diego across the 50 to start a drive.
And a throw over the middle to McEwen. Greg McEwen wide open underneath the Cleveland zone defense. Cleveland almost exclusively zone defensive team under Belichick. Under Carson, it was a gambling defense. Left the corners in one-on-one coverage much of the time with a lot of blitz packages.
Look, Don, you win in the NFL with balance. On offense, you need a fair amount of running to go with your passing. And on defense, you need a fair amount of zone to go with man-to-man. But in field position games like this, where you're just losing it miserably, there's just nothing you can do. Every single time the other team starts at the 50, it's a great psychological lift.
Chargers with their offense right where they like it, where they can pound away with the big backs like Marion Butts, who crashes ahead for 10 yards and a first down. Now let's check the Hertz 10-minute ticker. 49ers laying waste to the Lions, who've been having a big season up till today. And San Francisco finally coming alive. Rams have again gone ahead of the Raiders at the LA Coliseum to the north of here. And Atlanta leads at Phoenix.
Don, you just can't put your defense on the field as much as Cleveland has today and expect it to respond on every drive. Totally out of balance for Cleveland.
Browns need a turnover. There's been but one in the game. That was a Charger fumble. Butts again. As the Browns come slicing up. Hard hits put on Marion Butts, who takes a lot of shock. Richard Brown and Cedric Figueroa are combined on the staff.
Yeah, we saw Bernstein go off on the cart with a bad hip, so it's Marion Butts for the remainder of this game.
As a power back. Henning points out, I'm going to have 1,000-yard rushers. Gerald Riggs had over 1,400 one year at Washington under the Henning offensive system. Over 1,500 another year. 1,200 yards for Marion Butts last season with the Chargers. He likes to get a big horse and ride it. Second down and 8, San Diego. Timing throw, Nate Lewis. He takes the ball down. Tremendous play by Nate Lewis at the 2-yard line.
Looked like Stephen Braggs was the man in coverage. Freese throws this beautifully. He throws it to the right, his left. And Lewis goes up and gets it. Now, these cornerbacks for Cleveland, not big. Braggs is under 6 feet. Lewis, an excellent jumper. And again, San Diego knocking on the door. This is now the 5th time they've been down here.
You make the call. Marion Butts is the eye back. Double tight end set. Marion Butts, touchdown, San Diego.
Great lead block by Steve Hendrickson. They're congratulating Marion Butts. He was untouched. They ought to congratulate 34, Steve Hendrickson.
Who weighs 260.
Butts didn't have to do anything but hang on to the football. Watch the lead block by Hendrickson. Wow. On Clay Matthews, an excellent football player, just stops Clay Matthews in his tracks.
John Carney to try the point after, which he spins up and through again. And the Chargers have now extended their lead with 14 third-quarter points to 17-3.
Again, Don, field position, the key here for the San Diego Chargers. Start on Cleveland's side of the 50. You see the lead block, and Butts is not touched till he gets to the goal line, and then 53 Figueroa hits him, but that's not going to bring him down. So this has actually been a pretty easy day for the San Diego offense. They've not had to go the long field. Conversely, Cleveland's been looking at the long field all day.
Again for San Diego. Line drive again. They try to pin in the corner. Eric Metcalf. He's across the 20 and out to the 24-yard line. So the Browns need big plays now. It has now become a game of long balls for Bernie Kosar and try to get touchdowns.
Yeah, Browns trail 17-3. They got first and 80. And when the Chargers get the ball, they've got first and 50. Huge difference.
Next Sunday at 12:30 Eastern time before an NBC Sports NFL doubleheader. Join Will and Bill, Bob and OJ for NFL Live at 12:30 Eastern time. Right now, the Browns go on offensive alignment with 4 wide receivers in the game. And Eric Metcalf in the backfield, clearly a throwing situation. And Kosar makes no bones about it as he sets in the shotgun on first down. He looks and throws. Jackson comes down with the ball. Good open field hit made by Donald Frank, a 200-pound cornerback.
Look at here, Don. Cleveland with 3:13 to go in the third quarter, going at the line of scrimmage here.
They talked about Kosar. I asked them, why don't they just go to their 2-minute offense? He said, I just hope they don't, because he's so tough to stop. Here's a loop pass, and the ball is taken in by Eric Metcalf. On the run, Eric Metcalf putting on moves, and he's down to the San Diego 41-yard line. Unbelievable the number of Cleveland fans here.
Stanley Richard finally makes the tackle after a 32-yard pickup. They just, I don't know what happens here, but Bernie's not a scrambler, but look at the touch he puts on this. Sayal, 55, is the man in coverage. Richard finally makes the tackle. But boy, if you're going to put Sayal on Eric Metcalf, you got to do a better job than that. Back to the line of scrimmage for the Browns.
First down, another throw, another catch. This one is taken in by Langhorne, and he's ahead for a gain of 8 yards to the 32-yard line of San Diego. So the Browns go to what Kosar does best, run the 2-minute offense, although we're just now within 2 minutes to play in the third quarter. Every time Cleveland makes a big play, there's almost as much cheering as when San Diego does.
Well, they're not, San Diego fans not particularly happy with the Chargers here. Looks like blitz, Don.
And they're lining up the blitz. Here it comes. Kosar gets it away. Another connection. Winning the ball is Webster Slaughter, and he's down to the 6-yard line.
Why in the world do you do that?
Kosar loves to be blitzed. When he knows it's coming, he gets you.
Sam Seal makes the tackle. You can see the blitz. It's man-to-man coverage behind a free safety. Sam Seal's nowhere close to Webster Slaughter. Best drive of the game for the Cleveland Browns.
And down close, they're going to go right back to the all-out pass game. Another throw with the ball. Leroy Horde, touchdown Cleveland. They did it in about 90 seconds. There's some barking going on here in San Diego Jack Murphy Stadium. Some Clevelanders have found their way west.
Watch Horde, 33, outlet receiver. Bernie's looking all over the place, rolling 57, the closest man in coverage. Nice move by Horde. He gets it in the end zone. What is his defense thinking?
I had a long conversation, Trump, with Ron Lynn, and you talked to him yesterday also, the defensive coordinator of San Diego, and he just lauded Kosar's ability to run the 2-minute offense. I said, why wouldn't they do it anytime during the game? He said, I just hope they don't, because he's just about unstoppable, and he surely was in that drive, as Cleveland now is back to within 7 again with 1:08 to go, third quarter, and a big play for Leroy Horde. Kickoff by Stover downfield. is Donnie Elder, and he's across the 20-yard line out to the 23. There's the Hertz ticker.
Wow. San Francisco laid it on Detroit, huh?
49ers, an under 500 team, if you can imagine that. Winningest team in the NFL over the last 3 years. They were the best team in the NFL last season, the regular season. 14-2.
It isn't Kansas City 0 for its last 9 in Denver. They're looking at 0 for its last 10 in Denver.
Dan Henning can call games. He was saying yesterday Denver will beat Kansas City. He also thinks the Raiders will beat Denver at Denver, a game we'll be doing in a few weeks. He thinks Denver's offense is loaded.
Well, life back in the Cleveland Browns now.
The run. Putts straight arming a would-be tackler, but more Browns come to help. Harlan Barnett, number 37, who is a spirited player for the Cleveland Browns. He comes hard in every play. He forced the first fumble of the game, the only turnover, when he knocked the ball free on a safety blitz from John Freeze.
Well, he's also got that unsportsmanlike conduct penalty to make up for that resulted in great field position for San Diego and an ensuing touchdown.
You see the third quarter clock, the lower right-hand portion ticking down and pretty close to out. A loss of a yard on the carry by Marion Butts, and it's now second down and 11. Big rush. Picked off. Cleveland has the ball. Taking it back now is Richard Brown, and he's down to the 11-yard line. Final play of the quarter.
Free's arm was hit as that ball was released on. Former San Diego Charger with his first career interception.
We'll be right back after these messages from the NFL and your local station. Ball like he's done it before. There's Jim Bates, inside linebacker coach. Well pleased with the play of Richard Brown, and particularly Michael Dean Perry, who forced it. Go by Kosar. Brian Brennan's open. Puts a move on and gets out of bounds at the 5-yard line. Brennan always looking to work the clock. He's a possession receiver that often has to make his biggest plays when time is of the essence. That time he got ahead on a first down play for 6 yards.
Right back to the line of scrimmage by the Browns. It worked on the last drive. Why not now?
Handoff. Leroy Horde fighting hard, looking to protect the ball. And that brings up third down and goal, a third down and 3 from the 5-yard line.
Yeah, now go back in the huddle. No reason to be at the line of scrimmage, but they're staying at the line of scrimmage.
Junior Seau was the tackler. Belichick looks on. Here's the blitz. They pick up Seau. Kosar takes a look, heading for the end zone. Bernie Kosar down close, fighting for a first down. He needed to get inside the 2-yard line for a first down. And the Chargers, Trump, seem to indicate they've stopped him. Anthony Shelton, 23, was a tackler along with Joe Phillips and Junior Seau.
Boy, did he hammer Bernie Kosar.
But he's up and all right. And it looks to be just short, although the yard markers are coming out for a measurement.
This is certainly a 4-down area. I don't care how little you've run it today. Do they or don't they?
They don't.
So you got a foot.
Got to go.
Belichick is sending in.
He's sending in power people. They're going for it.
Yep. The momentum is switched.
Lee Roussan comes in. A blast blocker as an up back.
I like that in a head coach. You know, we got the momentum. We've captured it back from our opponent. So now we keep the momentum by trying to go for this 4th and, 2 feet? I'd watch first here for an offsides. Try to draw San Diego offsides. Let's see what happens.
Browns need less than a foot for a first down. They need 2 yards for what would be the tying touchdown. Boom! Down to the goal line is the end. It is definitely a first down for Cleveland. Joe Morris rocketed it into the right side of the San Diego defense. Seau met him. Morris threw him back. The measurement here is whether or not he got in for a touchdown.
No question it's a first down.
Nose of the ball almost touching the goal line. So the Browns now go first and goal, point blank range.
They run motion with Roussan. Leroy Horde, the lead blocker. Little Joe Morris was very close. Hang on to the football, Cleveland.
And a pitch to Joe Morris right. Joe Morris, boom! Little Joe takes it in, and the Cleveland Browns are an extra point away from tying the game.
Well, they won't give up. San Diego certainly helped an awful lot.
This is some inspirational comeback by the Cleveland Browns. It looks like we're in Cleveland, where we'll be next week. And then that's someplace to see a game. The Steelers against the Browns before 80,000 at Cleveland Stadium.
Same play. Motion by Roussan, lead block by Ford, score by Joe Morris.
The extra point popped up and through by Matt Stover. And the Cleveland Browns rally with 14 quick points, and they've tied the game at 17 all. With Bob Trumpy, this is Don Criqui back at San Diego, where the Browns have come back from 14 points down to tie the game. A long way to go. And now Donnie Elder runs it back. Cleveland special teams have him cornered, and he's knocked down at the 13-yard line. The support of the Browns here, we keep mentioning, absolutely astounding. And this is a long way from Cleveland, isn't it, Trump?
It sure is. It's warm weather, though. These are the last 2 drives by the Cleveland Browns. In 3 minutes and 39 seconds, they go from dead to tied.
That's it. 3:39. There they are. I'll probably make the trek back to Cleveland to be in the pound next week for the Steelers.
Absolutely.
They haven't stopped. Nor have the Browns as the fourth quarter now wears on. John Freeze takes a look. Tip ball. And first down. Freeze tries to get him out of trouble. And the big defensive end, the rookie, Pia Angapolitelli, slapped the ball back. As we look at the Miller Genuine Draft Light ticker. Denver continues to lead KC. The Chargers, their lead gone here, and Kansas City, who's been pounding people in recent weeks, having trouble at Denver. AFC West had the second best winning percentage. It's 5 teams in the NFL last year. The best was the NFC East. Freeze on second down. Here comes the rush. There's the throw. He makes the connection to the 20-yard line. A gain on the play of 6 yards. Derek Walker received the ball, and Richard Brown, with that big interception, made the tackle. Again, Michael Dean from busting through.
Yeah, they're running stunts up front. You can see that. Jones 96 and Michael Dean 92. They run the little twist up the middle and get right to Freeze, but he's able to make the completion. Michael Dean all over Freeze.
Third down and 4. Big play for the young quarterback of the Chargers. Here comes the rush. There's the throw. He makes the connection. Kitrick Taylor has a first down for San Diego. Tie game, 17-17 with 12:38 to play.
Vince Newsom, the man who eventually makes the tackle. Nice underneath throw by Freeze there. There's the brain trust. Galliano, Bob Galliano, the backup quarterback, and Dan Henning. Charlie Joyner standing right to Henning's left there. And the Charger hat. This may be the drive of the season for both these teams. You know that?
We got a long way to go. We might not be done after 60 minutes. We could go to OT in this one. Here's the rush on Freeze. Here's the throw. Another fine throw by John Freeze, ahead for a gain of 16 yards to rookie Sean Jefferson.
Excellent throw that time by Freeze. Outstanding. Great fundamentals. Had that ball high, right up next to his ear. Watch the fundamentals of it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sits strong. Gets that ball up high. Throws it on time. Frank Minifield in coverage. Those are hard to stop.
Marion Butts now first down. They might try to ground control the ball. Give it to Butts. They're going to throw again to Marion Butts. And he powers ahead, taken down by Matthews and Minifield, but it's a gain of 9 yards on the play as the Chargers answer the Cleveland scoring drive with an extended drive of their own.
Well, you know, there's still that big threat of the run, so Cleveland is continuing to keep 8 guys within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage. And the passes and the pass receivers are coming open.
It looked like the Chargers had put away the Browns, who'd not scored a touchdown today, with those 2 quick scores to go up 17-3. And it's a first down on the reception and run by Butts. And then Cleveland out of the shotgun. The 2-minute offense goes right through the Chargers on consecutive drives and ties the game. That's where it stands now with a long way to go. 11:05 to play in the game.
Freeze looks cool in that huddle, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's a very confident young guy. Coming off his best game, he passed for 306 yards. He's 19 against the Rams last week. 19 for 31 today for 187 yards. Butts. Busting tackles. You don't hit him, he hits you. 250-pound Marion Butts.
Ran right over Vince Newsom. Clay Matthews assists on the tackle, but this spot, watch what happens here. Nice lead block by Walker. He gets Jones on the wham, as they call it. He runs through the arms of Brown, 52. Matthews says, I'll hang on. Newsom says, no, please get him to the ground before he gets to me.
Vince Newsom is the leading tackler for the Browns. He's also forced a lot of fumbles. He's already forced 4 this season. 1 short of the Browns record. Sacked by Pia, Sanga, Politelli.
That play has not worked all day. They've tried to run the naked by the quarterback where he rolls out, and watch Sanga Politelli. Doesn't buy it a split second. And boom. Breeze does a great job to hang on to that football. Brings up a big 3rd down and 10 situation for San Diego. Nice play, Pio.
295 pounds, and John Freeze felt every ounce of it with that sack. Now it's 3rd down and 10 for the Chargers. Here comes the rush. John Freeze troubled. He gets the ball away to Ronnie Harmon. And Ronnie Harmon is thrown back, but he gets ahead for a first down.
Veteran play. Great
Penalty
job.
marker down. Marker down in the San Diego backfield.
Roughing the passer, number 92.
That's added on. First of all, we'll watch the roughing the passer. It's a shot to the head by Michael Dean Perry, and then he throws him down. But the play by Ronnie Harmon, a veteran play. Catches the ball over the middle, then turns directly upfield.
They would have gotten the first down anyway on the defensive penalty, but this is a big gainer with the reception and run for 11, and now the additional penalty yardage all the way down to the Cleveland 20. So the momentum switching back and forth. It's been going to the team that has the ball.
Well, you want your players to be aggressive, but Michael Dean knows the mistake he made.
Looks over the Cleveland defense. Butts. Workman-like run up the middle for 3 as everybody with an orange helmet on seemed to hit him, but he still gets ahead for plus yardage. The Cleveland coaches talking about how Bernstein, who's out right now, the hip injury, and Butts invariably get 3 yards after the first hit.
Impressive. This is now the 9th play for the San Diego Chargers, and this drive started at their own 14-yard line. Thrown it more than they've run it, and a big penalty on Michael Dean Perry has produced excellent field position here. 2nd and 8 for San Diego.
Freeze gets time. And it's ruled incomplete to Marion John Freese is faced with a 3rd and long to keep the drive alive, although the Chargers are well within field goal range for John Carney. Next Sunday, NBC Sports presents more great NFL football action, an exciting doubleheader beginning at 12:30 Eastern Time with NFL Live. And the AFC Central's leading Houston Oilers unleash that high-scoring offense when they host the Bengals in the Astrodome. In the second half of the doubleheader, many of you will see the bitter AFC Central rivalry renewed as the Steelers collide with the Browns at Cleveland Stadium. That's next Sunday on NBC Sports. Right now at San Diego, it is 3rd down and a long 7, almost 8. Freese stands in, makes the throw, caught by Harmon. The play of the game, down to the 3. The play of the game.
Van Waiters in coverage. Harmon catches it with one hand. Unbelievable. He tries to turn Gary Anderson here. Look at that. One hand he catches it with. Now watch the dive over Frank Minifield. Remember when Gary Anderson did that?
Yep, right in that spot on the field. Did a full gainer.
What a catch. What a catch. And that guy was cut from Buffalo because of one he dropped.
And an attitude they weren't really appreciative of, but they say in San Diego there isn't a better attitude in this football team than that of Ronnie Harmon. Butts hit and driving and knocked down at the 3 on a 1st and goal carry. And again, the Browns defense is called on to rise up.
Not much push here by the San Diego offense. And Butts not very fancy, just keeps those legs churning. A host of Cleveland Browns on the tackle. Oh, what a catch. That was an amazing catch by Ronnie Harmon to convert that 3rd down.
Extraordinary. 6:50 to go. 17-17. 2nd and goal, San Diego. Play fake. Throw. Catch. Touchdown Chargers. Steve Hendrickson.
He's the blocking H-back. Doesn't normally catch the ball.
But I'll tell you this, the Browns are ready to come back again. On the sideline, Mike Babb, their veteran center, was up passing in, practicing his side lateral moves for pass blocking, ready to come in. As they're going to go to the all-out offense as John Carney tries to extend the Chargers lead to 7. He does, and it's now a 24-17 lead. So it'll be Cleveland's at bat when we come back to San Diego Jack Murphy Stadium.
The all-new.
And San Diego now kicks out to Cleveland. Joe Morris, who scored the Browns' last touchdown, is out to the 23-yard line.
Gone back to the touchdown. Watch what happens when Hendrickson, who is the blocking H-back, comes out to Clay Matthews. Matthews expects to be blocked. Hendrickson slips by. Freese hits him. Just gets the ball into the end zone, basically uncovered. That's just a switch in personnel. Freese's 3rd catch of the season, his 1st touchdown.
Now watch this. Bernie Kosar, who's not turned the ball over in almost 220 straight passes. He's established a Cleveland record. Goes from the shotgun. There's a throw and a catch. On the run is Eric Metcalf. He gets more, cutting back, and he's out to the 40-yard line. A gain on the play of 16 yards and a Cleveland 1st down. The Browns from the shotgun in the 2-minute without the huddle, just about unbeatable in this game after they couldn't move earlier consistently with their base offense.
I got to tell you, the guy that got attached to Eric Metcalf can't cover him.
Kosar throws. That time Metcalf can't hold on.
It's Henry Rolling, 57, who is assigned to Eric Metcalf. And as long as Rolling is on there, if I'm Gary Tranquil, if I'm Bernie Kosar, I'm going to keep throwing it to Metcalf. Rolling is an excellent player. He can't stay with Eric Metcalf. As we look at the Miller Genuine Draft Light 10-minute ticker.
There it is. Now back to live action. Here is Kosar on 2nd down. Takes a look. Bernie Kosar runs ahead out to the 44-yard line. He got close to 5, and that brings up a 3rd down and 5. And the clock is running with 5:45 to play.
Bernie never has been very pretty when he rambles with the football. More functional when he's back there just and got protection and can throw it, but you can still get it up there for a few yards.
He did. He got 5. Big down now. Kosar looks, lets it go long. He's got a man. Langhorne with a brilliant reception at the 30-yard line. Langhorne has been exceptional for the Cleveland Browns with that great first-half reception, and now this, the biggest of the day for Cleveland.
This is a perfect throw by Bernie Kosar. Over the guy underneath. Donnie Elder, 28. That's the first third down Cleveland has converted in this game. 1 of 10, and they're driving.
It came at the right time for the Browns. Now they go first down and 10. Kosar looks, he throws, and Webster Slaughter was open, but he short-armed the ball.
How in the world did Kosar get that by the blitzer? It went right between his arms. Stanley Richard, number 24 for San Diego, comes on the blitz, and Kosar splits the uprights. Watch what happens here, Don. Richard is right in his face. Oh, he throws it around him. The sidearm delivery, and Webster Slaughter doesn't see it released and can't make the reception. Should have caught that one, Webb.
He could still be running. Second down and 10. Kosar fires to an open Webster Slaughter. He knows he's a Pro Bowler, and he goes right back to him on the exact same play, but this time Slaughter makes the reception for a first down. And the Browns drive on.
There was what, Don? 3 minutes to go in the third quarter when Cleveland went to the hurry-up offense. They may be in this for not just the rest of this game, but several more.
That's right. Here's another throw, another catch, but it's dropped by Langhorne. And it'll be second down and 10.
Cleveland may employ what Cincinnati has done very effectively for years, and that is stay at the line of scrimmage.
That's what they're doing right now.
Langhorne should catch that one. He took his eyes off the ball. 28 Elder in coverage. Second and 10.
Coach Henning obviously concerned. How do we stop this? San Diego holds to a 7-point lead, but Cleveland is driving again. Kosar gets out of trouble, looks and throws and makes the connection. Touchdown! It is Horde who's in, Leroy Horde, and Cleveland has tied it again if they hit the extra point. What a game! Phenomenal game, and it's a long way from over. This might be last at bat from.
Number 1, Joe Phillips misses him on the tackle. A Horde again open in coverage. His second reception for a touchdown. Kosar now 22 of 36 on the day.
For 262 yards. Stover hits the extra point, and we're tied at 24 all with 4:09 to play. We'll be back with the Cleveland kickoff in a moment. To the 4 in the absence of injured Kevin Mack has done it. And now the kickoff is deep into the end zone. Nate Lewis will not bring it out.
You can see the problem that San Diego has had here in close games. And you know the amazing thing about the Cleveland Browns, Leroy Horde now has 7 catches for 4 touchdowns.
A wild game. Carney opened the scoring, hitting a field goal. That gave San Diego a 3-0 lead. At the close of the first half, Stover hit one for the Browns. It was 3-3. Butts gave the San Diego Chargers the game's first touchdown with a 2-yard run. Harmon scored an 11-yard run. It looked like the Browns and Coach Bill Belichick were cooked. Then Horde came back with a 6-yard touchdown reception. Joe Morris with a 1-yard touchdown run. It was tied. Hendrickson scored for San Diego on a reception. And then Leroy Horde on a 15-yard reception, and we're tied again. Runs after him. Almost a late strike.
Brown hit helmet to helmet with Freeze there.
Very close to a late hit.
Look, he's woozy. Nowhere to throw it, he says. He's absolutely correct. Excellent coverage by Cleveland, and the receivers on the scramble didn't help out. Now watch this hit by Brown, 52. Just as he goes down, watch the helmets. Well, it was a shoulder pad on the helmet, but he picks up no yardage. 2nd and 10.
Freeze said something yesterday, Trump, that was interesting. He said some of the biggest hits don't hurt. It's some of the ones that look like nothing that really hurt. On 2nd and 10, Freeze swings it out to Big Marion Butts. Taking on tacklers. David Brandon, 58, hit him first. And there's a gain of 5 on the play. Right now we're going to go to NFL Live in New York. Bob.
Don, a good one in Denver with Christian Okoye largely ineffective in the game. The rookie out of LSU, the #1 draft pick for the Chiefs, Harvey Williams, comes in, gets better than 70 yards for Marty Schottenheimer's team in the second half, including that 14-yard touchdown run that tied it at 16. But moments later, David Treadwell drilled a 27-yard field goal, 19-16 Broncos.
And a good one going at San Diego Jack Murphy Stadium. 3rd down coming up now for the Chargers with 2:30 to play. Game time, 24 all. Freeze. Miller is parked. Did he get there? He might have lunged for the first down. It appears that he got it for the Chargers.
Clock has not stopped. Will they measure?
They're marking it first down Chargers.
Now San Diego's got to hurry up here a little bit. They've got 3 timeouts left. They're about to have the 2-minute warning. So they got 2 minutes to win this game.
The 2-minute warning is given, and San Diego will go 1st and 10 when we come back. Bob Trumpy, this isn't a Super Bowl, but as far as the Chargers and the Browns are concerned, it's that important. They need this game to get back on track, and it could go to overtime, Mr. Trumpy.
Absolutely, and of course, I would imagine John Freeze, his second-year quarterback, making just his 9th start in the first game-winning situation in the latter stages of a football game in the NFL. Great learning experience here, but I don't know if Henning is willing to put the ball up and take a chance with a turnover for Cleveland. He likes to protect the ball. It'll be interesting to see just what choice San Diego makes here.
He's got to throw the ball. Maybe not on this down, but he's got to keep putting it up. They got a long way to go. Here comes the rush. There's a throw. He makes the connection. Does John Freeze to Nate Lewis. Good for a gain of about 8 yards.
That's Freeze's 26th completion of the day. And Lewis is slow getting up.
I tell you, everybody out there has played like it's the whole league titles on the line, and this one, sensational game and a long way to go. Even
after my accident,
San Francisco has routed Detroit 35-3. We'll check all the late scores in a moment. Right now it's 2nd down and 4. A delay. Arlen runs with the ball and darts ahead. He has a first down for the San Diego Chargers.
Browns that time came with a 6 defensive back set, so San Diego's choice is to run the game as you continue to look at the Miller Genuine Draft Light ticker.
Freeze, drops, dumps it off. Harmon with the ball. He has a great ability to make people miss, but not there as the Cleveland Browns wrap him. That was Harlan Barnett, the strong safety, who got him. A gain of just 2. Clock moving down to 1:19 to play. Tie game, ball at the 45-yard line of San Diego.
Blitz.
They pick it up. Here's a throw and a catch. Free ball. Incomplete at the 45. Big hit by Frank Minifield separated Anthony Miller from the ball.
Now let's see. Let's take inventory. Chargers have 2 timeouts left. Not ready for him yet. They need about 25 yards. Freeze is going to the sideline here to get the call from Dan Henning. And the clock is running. 22, 21, 20 seconds on the 45-second clock. They need 8 yards here. Cleveland comes with 6 defensive backs.
Chargers at 1-6, battling to get another one up in the win column. The Cleveland Browns come back and win this. It could turn their whole season. Freeze throws another good throw to Nate Lewis, who breaks it inside the 45-yard line. Down to the 42 with 58 seconds to play.
Chargers take a timeout. 4 tackling Cleveland. San Diego, this is going to hurt.
Here's Pat
Ball
Haggerty.
start. Right guard. Before the snap.
goodness. Watch the right guard. Does he pull up out of his stance? Well, that's awful close. I can't tell. Looked like he went right on the snap of the ball, but that was Dave Richardson. But nevertheless, the flag is thrown. So again, now downs mean nothing. It's just where that ball is placed. Boy, that play hurt. Okay, they're giving him time back on the clock because that play does not count.
Good point.
41 seconds.
The clock does not start. 41 seconds.
Well, you almost have to treat this as a 2-down area, Don. Not just try for it on 3rd down, but also 4th down to make the conversion.
Here's Freeze. Downfield throw. It's completed at the 25-yard line. Anthony Miller.
Boy, he was open long before Freeze threw it to him, Don.
And Freeze makes another tremendous throw for the Chargers as he's come of age the last 2 weeks for San Diego. He downs the ball now with 21 seconds to play. That'll bring up 2nd down.
25 and 17, 42-yard attempt. In this season, so far, John Carney is
11 of 16.
And 4 of 6 from 40 to 49.
Don't forget, following the game on most of these stations, NBC presents The Adventures of Martin Bryan. Then it's Erie, Indiana, followed by Man of the People and Pacific Station. Then it's the NBC Sunday Night at the Movies presentation, I Still Dream of Jeannie, tonight only on NBC.
Cleveland just took a timeout here.
Bill Belichick, he's churning like everyone in this ball yard. Will be back. Possible game winner now gets a lot longer.
Holding. Offense. Number 88. Still 2nd down.
Arthur Cox, the tight end, of whom Dan Henning says he is an enforcer on the field. Nobody messes with Arthur Cox.
See if we can pick it up here at all. It looks like Arthur Cox is holding up 58. David Brandon.
Now they've got to throw. 16 seconds to play. They go to the run, and Cleveland stays home. And that'll wind it down to the final time for John Carney to come out. A young player who knows pressure kicks, as mentioned earlier. Also, he kicked for the last national championship team at Notre Dame in '88.
31 and 17. I got it at about 48 yards. His best so far this season, 48 yards. He's 4 of 6 from 40 to 49. The holder is the punter, John Kidd.
I would think Trump, the Chargers might do some bag of trick stuff with snap calls to try to get the Browns offside. The executive producer of NBC Sports is Terry O'Neill. Coordinating producer of NFL Football, John Francis. The producer of today's game, Victor Frank. Director Richard Klein. As John Carney sets up for a 49-yard field goal attempt. 5 seconds left. Game tie, 24 all. And the Browns want to give him something to think about.
As if he hadn't since they started this drive.
That's right.
Something that was stolen from basketball, you know, on the free throws. I'm not sure it does any good. They got it right where they wanted. It's between the hash marks. Right side. Carney is a right-footed kicker. Kickers hooked the ball. And I wonder if Bill Belichick realized that becoming a head coach, you die a little every day, but when you lose a game like this, you die a lot. Dan Henning feels the same way. Why am I in this
team
business?
Is so much better and have played so much better, and yet every week it seems to be down to the gun, and so many weeks they've been on the short end. Bill Belichick, youngest head coach in the NFL, a rookie at the job after 12 years as the highly acclaimed defensive coordinator of the Giants. His team trying to come out of a 3-game slide.
Well, you certainly can't have a penalty on either side here.
If it's good, it's over. If it's not, we go to overtime. Snap high, set down good. Carney drills it. He's wide left. No good. It's an overtime game. And I would project this, Bob Trumpy, if Cleveland wins the toss, they'll win the game.
I agree with you. The way their at the line of scrimmage offenses worked, like you saw Galbraith there on the sideline celebrating. Yeah, we've come back to tie. Now the coin flip in this game, very critical. Here's the kick. When a kicker is trying to kick it a little further, that's when they hook them. And this one just hooks at the very last before it gets to that upright. And he misses from 48 yards. Now
What's Bernie Kosar doing during the delay? He's out there warming up that right arm. The coin flip could tell the story, as Dan Henning wants an explanation here, Trump.
Yeah, he's talking to the officials on the sideline over there. In the last couple of weeks, Henning is of the opinion that the officials have not been very kind to his football team. There's the two teams' overtime records.
Dan's got to be careful he doesn't have whoever wins, if it's his team who loses the toss, kicking off from 15 yards back on a personal foul, sportsmanlike conduct.
Kosar is going to make the coin toss call. Gil Byrd goes out for San Diego.
We'll be right back. We're not going anywhere till we have the flip of the coin. It's up, and here is a very big report.
San Diego gets it.
Chargers get the ball to open overtime. Earlier today, New England and Minnesota went to overtime, and the Patriots won in the last play of the extra 15 minutes. And we'll be right back after these messages from your local station. Start overtime.
Remember, this game was tied at 3-3 at half. And there you see the two quarterback comparisons.
42 second half points here.
I didn't think San Diego could win this game throwing it 45 times. And they got a chance.
Cleveland has not turned the ball over in the game. The Chargers have turned it over twice. There's Nate Lewis back awaiting the Stover kickoff. Stover really unloads. And Lewis, in his wisdom, downs the ball 6 yards deep in the end zone. And the Chargers will go on offense again at their 20-yard line.
Tough choice for coaches in overtime, Don, both offensively and defensively. You don't know if you go with your standard stuff. Here's Dan Henning talking to John Freeze, the quarterback. You know, nobody has an overtime package. You try to remember what's worked good during the game. The defense, do you go with the prevent? Do you play your base defense? This is a tough time for both coaches. That's Steve Crosby, the running back coach, on the sideline there with Bill Belichick.
There's young John Freeze, a second-year player from Idaho. Never played in a Division I game in college. His school was the 1AA team, the Vandals of Idaho. Here is Freeze standing in. He makes a throw, and it's caught at the 35-yard. As an incomplete, it's ruled.
It bounced out of his hands. Boy, Miller should have had that one. He's dropped a couple today.
He's dropped a few all season. An all-pro player. First-team all-pro player last year.
Well, that went right through his hands. The only difference I see in Anthony Miller this year to last year is he's wearing gloves. I asked him why, and he said, well, because Jerry Rice does. So that's a lousy reason to wear gloves.
Vince Newsom didn't help him there, though, Trump. He was right there to pop him as the ball came in. So the Chargers miss on first down. Now they have second down and 10 on this opening overtime drive at their 20-yard line. They go to the big back, Marion Butts. Cleveland comes calling, knocks him down after a gain of 4 yards. Third down and 6.
Well, I think Cleveland's defense is well aware of the fact that the way Bernie Kosar and the hurry-up offense has worked in the second half, they've got to stop them on this down. If they get the ball into Bernie Kosar's hands.
Would they ever risk going for it on 4th down?
I don't think so. You just can't take that chance, Don.
You give the game away if you don't do it.
Yeah, you don't give it away. You don't ever want to give it away. This is the key play here in overtime already.
Both sides have fought it out with all their might, and now John Freeze throws and makes the connection. It's the elusive Ronnie Harmon who gets the first down for San Diego. Stephen Braggs was very close to an unsportsmanlike conduct call against him. And the fans are booing no flag.
Watch Harmon on the right. He runs the delay. No one picks him up. He's only a couple of yards across the line of scrimmage. Lets everybody pick up a man downfield, and then he turns a little catch into a big gain. Drive stays alive. First down, San Diego.
Harmon making big play after big play. Who can forget that one-handed catch that set up one of the Chargers touchdowns late in the game. Now San Diego has the ball at their 39-yard line. Freeze again stands in. Ooh, Braggs had his hands on it.
Thrown behind him.
Nate Lewis was the intended receiver. Here it is again.
Yeah, you can read Freeze's lips. That's a hook.
That's almost a pick.
Yeah, Lewis
pick off.
Lewis carries it inside, and Freeze is saying, hey, that's a hook. Stephen Braggs was the closest man in coverage there. Second straight week that John Freeze has gone over 300 yards. He lost last week, throwing for over 300.
Second down and 10 for John Freeze. To the run, to Harmon. He has been an ace. He has been spectacular. He gets a first down on 2nd and 10. And Buffalo punt after he dropped the pass against the Browns in a playoff game in the end zone.
The Browns come with a blitz. You saw Clay Matthews, 57, trying to cheat the line of scrimmage. It's the correct call offensively for that defense. And Ronnie Harmon able to squirt up through there.
Rob, you could almost replay the last 2 minutes of regulation, and you get the first 2 minutes of overtime. Same throws, same Ronnie Harmon plays. Ball at the 50 now as they try to inch into field goal range for John Carney. Time is not a factor now. 12:54 to play in the overtime. There's a loop. Incomplete. It'll be second down at the 50. And you can almost call their offense invariably when Freeze has to make a throw. He throws under the Cleveland zone up the middle.
Well, that's all they're going to give him, and he's smart enough to realize that you take what the defense will give you in all situations.
Don't forget, following the game on most of these stations, NBC presents The Adventures of Mark and Brian. Then it's Erie, Indiana, followed by Man of the People and Pacific Station. Then it's the NBC Sunday Night at the Movies presentation, I Still Dream of Jeannie, tonight only on NBC. To live action now. Second down and 10, San Diego in overtime. There's the rush, there's the throw, and that is the called throw again, under the zone, up the middle when he had to make a play. This one is good for a gain of 5 yards. Anthony Miller.
Well, now earlier you asked, do you go for it on 4th down?
Now you do.
Well, 45-yard line. Your opponent's 45-yard line in overtime. Yeah, I think you do. You certainly try to get it on 3rd down, but if it comes up close.
From here, it's a 62-yard field goal. So if we can summon Tom Dempsey, we might have something going, but John Carney can't hit it from there. If they don't convert this play, you know Harmon's going to be involved. Here's Harmon coming out of the backfield. Ronnie Harmon. Oh, he drops the ball.
Thrown low by Freeze.
Now, a huge decision of enormous proportion for Coach Dan Henning and the Chargers.
This ball is thrown low.
But he's catching those. That's just his only mistake of the day.
Oh, hit him right between the numbers 33.
They're going to punt it.
Look at Freeze. That's on him. You can't throw that ball down there. Hit him between the 3 and the 3. And he had enough for the first down.
It's been a long time since Bernie Kosar and the Browns have had the football. They're going to get it now unless the punter, John Kidd, who has thrown from this formation, he did it more than once at Buffalo, doesn't punt the ball. He's going to punt it. Booms it up. Ryan Brennan will let it hop.
Oh, great play.
So the ball is at the 6-yard line. And that's where Kozar and the Browns offense goes on offense after a 49-yard punt by John Kidd.
Well, if San Diego stops Cleveland in overtime, it'll be the first time they've stopped him in the second half. Great play by Darren Carrington, tipping the ball back on the field of play. Recovered by Hendrickson. First and what, 94? First and 95.
Where they position the ball, it's going to be at the 6-yard line. 94 from the end zone.
Well, Cleveland's had great success in this second half, going with the offense from the line of scrimmage, out of the shotgun, and they continue.
Even in this field position, dire as it may be, the Browns have to like their chances because they've got Bernie Kosar running the offense. As the Chargers come hunting the ball, the running play by Eric Metcalf is stuffed quickly by number 55, Junior Seau.
That's a keep the defense honest play. Make sure those linebackers aren't setting 5 and 6 yards deep.
Second down and 8. Here comes the rush. Kosar stands in. He throws. It's caught. And out to the 16-yard line and very close to a first down is Reggie Langhorne, who's had a big day for the Cleveland Browns. Six receptions for 64 yards for Langhorne. And the Browns have a first down. They started at their 6-yard line after a 49-yard punt in overtime by John Kidd of the Chargers.
Chargers with 6 defensive backs showing blitz.
Another throw, another catch to Langhorne as he fights his way to the 20-yard line. And the Browns now work their way out to what is respectable starting position. They were in a terrible scrape. They were in jail at their 6-yard line to start this drive in overtime.
One of the amazing abilities Bernie Kosar has is in the face of an all-out blitz. He throws the ball under people's arms, around them, through their arms, and makes the completion.
Kosar pumps and throws and makes the connection to Eric Metcalf. He dives ahead. On a second down and 6 play, he is ahead for a gain of about 5 yards. So it'll be third down and 1. Dan Henning walks the sideline.
Don, I don't think Cleveland's seen the last of this offense. This is going to go for several weeks.
It's been sensational. Kosar up to 289 yards passing. To the run. Metcalf, he's got the first down to the 32-yard line. And the clock continues to run in overtime. As you fans know, this is not like postseason when they keep playing till you have a winner. Unless somebody scores in the first 15 minutes of overtime in the regular season, it goes as a tie game and a half game won and a half game lost for each team in the one-loss column.
Chargers staying with the 6 defensive backs, Don.
Long ball. Ooh, very close to interference, but no call as Webb Slaughter ran the flag. Second and 10 coming up.
Sammy Seal, 30, is looking back at the football, so they allow the incidental contact, even though there is contact.
You kind of hate to see this one end from.
Yeah, they're both playing postseason type football.
Metcalf behind a pulling guard. Sprinting out to the 38-yard line. On a second and 10, he got 7. Stanley Richard made the play.
We got 2 Chargers down, one on the field of play and Stanley Richard on the sideline.
Seemed to be, yeah, Richard is still down.
Yeah,
Seau is up.
Seau is up.
Stanley Richard, the #1 draft choice this past April of the Chargers. A hard-hitting free safety out of the University of Texas.
He kind of laid out to make the hit on Eric Metcalf, and it looked to me like his helmet hit Eric Metcalf's knee. Watch again the sweep. Lots of room out here, but watch 24, bottom of your screen. He's the guy who was eventually going to make the hit. Watch what happens. He basically knocked himself silly.
So this matchup of a 1-6 team against a 2-4 team From a big play and excitement standpoint, might be to date the game of the year in the NFL.
Agreed.
They're going to attend to injured Stanley Richard of the Chargers, and we'll be back to San Diego Jack Murphy Stadium in a moment. Third down and a long 3 coming up. Our thanks to spotters Jan Chapman Jr. and Steve Marshall and statistician Richard Waninger. Here come the Cleveland Browns lining up. Third down, they need 3. Well, they're going for it on 4th.
What's worked here is Eric Metcalf or Reggie Langhorne. Those two guys have been very good in this situation for Cleveland.
Watch Brian Brennan in motion.
Blitz.
Kosar knows him well and counts on him and does again, but Brian can't hold the ball, and 4th down arises. Browns aren't going to chance it. They're going to punt it.
So the first time since the second half started, San Diego stops Cleveland.
Cleveland has the 7th-ranked defense in the NFL, so I guess they're going to count on that, Trump.
That ball was underthrown by Bernie Kosar, pressured by the safety blitz. Darren Carrington.
Deep man is Kitrick Taylor for the San Diego Chargers, and Ryan Hansen's going to have to put that right leg in the whirlpool when they get back to Cleveland. He's done some punting today. This will be his 9th.
Continue play. Continue play.
The one stat you never want to lead the league in, Trumpy, is kickoff returns.
Yeah, I understand what you're talking about. Or punts.
That's of course the stadium where you played your first pro game with the Cincinnati Bengals back in '68. Hansen hits a good one. Kitrick Taylor goes back, and he fair catches the ball at the 12-yard line. So Hansen delivers big again for the Cleveland Browns. Chargers get the ball, but a long way to go after a 49-yard punt by Brian Hansen.
Well, in overtime, you have no idea how big a play that is. Just a simple 49-yard punt.
You keep waiting for that twit in Tempe, Arizona. First down and 10. Marion Butts. Cleveland doesn't give him much. They were reading that all the way.
Yeah, Cleveland going with their base defense. 4-man front, 4 defensive backs, playing pretty standard here. Both these teams have given their all, even though they're 1-6 and 2-4. No shortage of effort on either side of the football.
Bill Belichick, as mentioned, 39 years old, youngest NFL coach, aging quickly with this one. So is Dan Henning, who's pushing that half-century mark, close to playing the back 9. This will move him closer to it. John Freese makes a throw. It's caught at the 31-yard line. Anthony Miller makes the play. Hook pattern, comes back at the ball.
Frank Minifield, the man in coverage. They've run that play a lot today. Freese this time puts a little extra on it. And Miller, ball is still behind him, but he makes that catch. Big first down.
Skips off the hands of the intended receiver, and the nearest man to the ball, that was Marion Butts they threw to. Harlan Barnett was in the vicinity, and it floated down into his hands. This would be over.
In a hurry.
Harlan had open track to the San Diego end zone. 7:29 left to play in overtime. 24-24. It was a 3-3 game at halftime. Don Criqui with Bob Trumpy at San Diego Jack Murphy Stadium.
John Freese has now thrown the ball 53 times today.
And he's completed 33. He looks, he throws, intercepted. Cleveland's going to win. Running the ball in is number 58, David Brandon, and the Browns defense wins the game. And where better to win it right in front of the transplanted dog pound.
That play has not worked all day. They tried 5 times to run that quarterback naked. It's not produced a thing except the winning touchdown for Cleveland.
David Brandon, who just a season ago was a San Diego Charger. Now let's take a look at today's Cannon Camcorder replay of the game.
And here it is. This play has not worked. They try to get the quarterback outside with no coverage. Songa puts the pressure on the intended receiver, Lewis. Brandon steps in front.
He knew he had it.
1, 2, 3, 6. And a win.
Sure, Belichick would rather he tuck the ball in and went as fast as he could go. Stepping in there like a Tennessee walking horse.
Well, they'll address that later. They'll celebrate the victory now.
And the most valuable player of the game. The employee owners of Avis salute the game's MVP, quarterback Bernie Kosar of the Cleveland Browns is the winner of the We Try Harder Avis, the official car rental company of the NFL. A huge victory for the Browns, one of their biggest in a long time, and I would bet it turns their season.
I remember that the Cleveland Browns trailed 17-3, 17-3 with 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. And here's the winning